Well, welcome to another edition of Bottom of the Bill, ladies and gentlemen. We got our boy Cory Clawkins on today. Cory Hawkins, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
He's here.
I'm here.
I like Clawkins.
I like Clawkins
It just
too.
rolls off the tongue a little better, man. And
Is
then
that-
people can't, like, it's not my real
That's
last name.
It's Scottish, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Clawkins.
Why not? It can be anything you want it to be.
Okay.
Well, thanks for being on the show today, man. Really appreciate
Right
you coming
on,
by.
man. Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
Before we get started, we do the obligatory cheers.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty deep
Cheers.
already.
I'm drinking the wrong direction, Billy.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so got a couple shows to talk about. Make sure you get your tickets for Orange Blossom Review on December 3rd. Hangout Express is going to be at Wicked Barley Brewery on May 29th from 3 to 6. And then that same night, we're at Flying Iguana from 10 to 1. And then I'm playing by myself at ABBQ on May 30th, and also by myself at Monkey's Uncle Jack's Beach.
Yeah.
And then the Garage on May 28th. So what do you got coming up, Bill?
Oh, nothing. Just a tour with the hottest new Jamtronica band in Florida.
Super sick, bro.
Fucking Cory loves
And the
it.
greatest hip-hop band to come on with you guys.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
Did you want to hang out next week?
I think so. I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we can jam together for a little while.
I think that's kind of gonna happen. I think I'm getting in because you don't have a keys player.
No, we don't. But I do have.
This is gonna,
I was-
I'm gonna be
So he
on
just
it more.
invited himself
I've-
onto your
I've-
set.
yeah, we talked about it
Oh,
on the
okay.
bus. But I've got a bass station and a mini Nova that I was thinking about bringing down with me just to
More keys
just
the
to
merrier.
set up.
It's gonna be
and
ridiculous.
then do some weird things.
But Greenhouse Lounge is playing first night at Dunedin by themselves, and then Universal
Mhm.
Green is going to join us on that Saturday, and then on Sunday the 20th or the 30th, I can't remember.
The
we're-
30th,
we're
28,
playing-
29, and we're in Dunedin. 30th is when the Rosie show.
Yeah,
back up
so
here.
Greenhouse Lounge is playing at Roosevelt Collier. So, I mean, if you want to go see an acoustic trio at where was it again?
It's actually the full band, so you can go fuck
At a
yourself.
really nice restaurant, then go ahead.
Wicked Barley's a sponsor of the show, by the way, so just saying.
That is true, and I love you, Jen. Wicked Barley's the best. All I'm trying to say is, I mean, come.
A lot of people, you can make it to both shows.
Yeah, you can make it to both
You
shows.
can totally
both shows,
make
yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
can make it to both shows for
So
sure.
what time do you play at Wicked Barley?
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
just jet on over to
Yeah.
the West Coast real
You
quick.
can go take a nap.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
you
come
could,
to
you
the
could
show.
do that. That's like a 3.5 hour drive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're hustling,
Yeah,
you could get down and
you can make it work. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
For
make
sure.
it work.
For sure.
That's gonna be a lot of fun, though.
Oh, I'm super excited,
I can't
man.
wait.
I'm so stoked. I had such a good time down in OBJ with you guys, man. That was
Yeah.
just absolutely incredible.
That's a great festival, man. It's like one of my favorite festivals in Florida, I think.
Yeah,
We were just in and out, like we're just one day there, but like the
Dude, 24 hours, like, to the dot. We left 1904 and got back 24 hours later, and I guess everybody went home. I know I passed out as soon as I got home.
Yeah, I did too.
Woke up at like 6:30, and I was like, oh, shit, it's 6:30. I got to go to work. I'm thinking it's 6:30 in the morning the next day, and I got to get up. I'm like, shit, I'm still hungover. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm just finally looking through my phone. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm completely wrong. I still got 12 more hours before my alarm clock's going to go
I
off
hate
in the
that
morning.
feeling. That's like the worst feeling.
that was the first time back at a festival that I felt like it felt like a real fucking thing. I've been telling everybody I took it for granted, you know what I mean? And then it's finally like back, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Greenhouse Lounge was a lot of fun, but so was Ajava, so was Tanned, and then Spore just destroyed.
Oh, my
it,
God,
knocked
those
out of the water.
guys. I love you guys so much, but Spore, I don't know,
I
man.
know,
That
man.
just it reminds
I
me of the
totally
old
agree.
music I used to play with some of my friends, and ever since I met those guys, they added Michael to it. They had I can't think of the two guys that play with them, but they had the banjo player and the guitar player play with them on
Really?
Saturday night. Yeah, man,
I
just
didn't-
for a few songs,
I
but
don't remember that part.
it's just full shred the whole time,
Yeah,
dude. They're
a lot of
so
energy.
good. They're so
Oh,
good.
was it Nigel from Firewater that played with
No,
them?
no, it wasn't Nigel. God, that's why I didn't even recognize the guy. They obviously announced him, but at this
Matt
point it
Weiss
was
played with them. I
11:30
know
at
that.
night.
The other guitarist. When that ended the set, I got there a little bit late.
Yeah. Right before that, they had a guy playing banjo, just shredding away. I mean, you can only imagine if you're gonna jam with Spore, you got to be able to shred hard.
Yeah, for sure. Those guys get down. Steve's a fucking rock star in that band too, man. I love watching him play with Spore.
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad about that the other day. Their show in Oktoberfest in Jack's Beach. My dad had never seen Spore play before, and Steve's just pelvic thrusting the whole time he plays. He's like, man, that bass player is getting down up there. And it's like, yeah,
he's a fucking rock star.
He's like growing into a young Russell Brand.
For sure.
Is what it looks like.
For sure.
Without a fucking doubt. He's not there 100% yet, but
he'll get there. Give him some time.
So funny. His outfits and shit just made me laugh.
Yeah.
He always brags about how cheap they are too.
Yeah.
It's like, I got this off Amazon this whole thing for like $10. I'm like,
He gets his outfits at fucking Goodwill,
like
bro. Let's be honest.
Off Google?
No, Goodwill.
Oh, Goodwill.
That's funny, man.
Google clothes.
Google clothes. It's in the air now. It's going to be a new business in the next year.
I just realized I'd never put shoes on. I'm still wearing flip-flops and stuff.
Nice.
Whatever.
Extra casual
It's
today.
my fucking house.
Yeah, it's all good, bro.
Bro,
This
live
is-
your best life.
No one's
bro.
worried about your feet.
This is casual.
It's comfy,
It's comfy. I like to be comfy and current.
especially at home.
Comfy and current.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it. All right. Anyways, so Cory, why don't you give us some background on you and coming up and when you started playing music and all that good stuff?
Okay, so my whole life I've always, all my grandparents were musicians, pretty much, just like pianos. My dad's mom was a gig and piano player. She actually wrote. My grandpa, before he died, he was still getting checks from the Army Corporation of Engineers because she wrote the jingle for the Army Corporation of Engineers. I do not know the words to it or how it goes, but if you look it up on YouTube, you can find it.
That's wild. So are you guys getting that check now too?
No, I think they stopped because she died, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that. So we're not getting any more royalties from that, unfortunately. And they'd send like $2 a month. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It wasn't anything serious. My
Government, bro.
My mom's grandma, she was just one of those people just could play anything on the piano. If she heard it, she could play it. You know what I mean? So we always had pianos and stuff around the house that I would kind of tinker with and, growing up, mess around with a little bit. Never really took any formal lessons or anything until I was in middle school. My dad bought me a bass guitar. I started playing bass and taking lessons in middle school, jamming out with a few of my friends at the beach. We were playing, I listened to a lot of like fat records, like punk rock and Sublime, to like Slightly Stupid and Pepper and stuff. So we were playing like punk rock and with reggae jams and stuff in between them. Kind of started doing that for a while, and then I came across FL Studio at one of my friend's house when I was in high school, and it just changed everything for me. It's like, holy crap, I can make entire songs, and all I gotta do is just sit here and do it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need a group of people. Granted, I would much rather play in a band than just sit at home and produce by myself. But I started doing that in like high school, kind of. You get like 18, 19, 21 years old. You just want to party. So I wasn't really doing too much with it. And then eventually I was just like, man, why did I stop? And got back into it, started playing more music with my friends again. And we used to practice, 3-4 times a week. But we never really went through with anything on it,
Sure.
And so kind of it just feathered away, did its own little thing. I was kind of bummed out about it, but one of my best friends, Paige McMullen, she plays in band Tomboy from Jacksonville.
Yeah, she used to be in Rice.
Yep, she played in Rice.
I remember
So we grew up, we went to elementary school together, and I remember we used to always hang out, and she came over one day and she's like, oh my God, she's like, I'm playing with Rice at Warehouse, and she's like, we got this guy that's coming in, he's rapping while we're playing, talking about Daryl. I was like, okay. It's like, that's pretty rad. Like, let me just come hang out and check it out. You know what I mean? They got a whole band going on. They've got everything. They don't need anyone else to join the band, but I'd love to be I'm friends with Paige, and if she's in a band with people, I can imagine I'm going to be friends with them too, So kind of started hanging around with them. Me and Daryl kicked it off right off rip, and you know, everybody in Rice. I guess I don't know exactly what happened to Rice. It just kind of,
me neither.
You know, fizzled out exactly. And Universal Green was born, and then so Universal Green was playing for probably I don't know 2 or 3 years before I even joined. And then the same things, like people had families and, you know, other obligations, and it just wasn't really working out. But I was still great friends with Paige, and she's like telling me all this stuff. So I'm like, hey, you ever need a bass player or somebody that can produce some stuff, you know, maybe add some electronic stuff in behind it, just let me know. And kind of slowly started working my way into it. I was playing piano in there for a little while, just adding in that, like, when I talked to Daryl, he was like, you know, we got the meat and potatoes, but he's like, I need that sauce. I need that little bit of extra, that just extra stuff to, you know, bring everything together. And so kind of started jamming with them. And next thing I know, I'm playing at the amphitheater at Swanee at Blackwater. I think that was the first festival that I played there. Wow. That was super, super
Back
cool,
in
man.
2011?
Yeah. It was the last Blackwater they had.
Yeah, that was the first festival I played at, too.
Yeah.
And first Swanee, anyway.
It was crazy because...
It was 10 years ago. God damn.
So, side note, before that, I got attacked by a dog. I got like 90 stitches in the back of my leg. So I was literally... Yeah, it was insane. So I was literally up on stage, but I'm going to practice. I'm using a cane and crutches. I got my girlfriend at the time that was helping me bring in all my gear and stuff, and made it to Blackwater. And I remember we were playing, and it was like the last 2 or 3 songs, and I'm just like, I got to go sit with the studio or the monitor guys. I just can't stand up here anymore right now. And everything, it still went super great. It's crazy the amount of band members and stuff we've gone through in there. It's been a lot, but, you know, just with the persistence and stuff, we finally made it to where we are now, and having a great time doing that. And then, you know, I've been producing since I found that program pretty much, you know, when I was a teenager, and just trying to stay as busy as I can, really.
What was the Jack scene like when you were coming up initially, like when, you know, as a teenager in your 20s?
So when I was going to a lot of shows then, it was like I was going, like I said, a lot of punk rock shows, NoFX, Lagwagon, Strung Out, all Fat Records. I remember seeing Death by Stereo at Freebird. That was one of the coolest shows I think I ever saw. You know, I saw the Casualties. What was next to Plush? Rain?
I don't know. I'm not from
Rain.
Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. I think it was Rain that was next to Plush,
on University.
Yeah.
That place sucked.
It was terrible, dude. So we were there and we're watching the Casualties play, and someone like spilled a drink on something, and all the speakers went out, but their amps were still on, and one of them had a megaphone, so they played for like another 30 minutes, and it just sounded so bad, dude. And you're like, there was like shootings and stuff at Plush.
You know, Paris Hilton was supposed to show up at Plush. Remember that? But she never.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to DJ up there?
That was here. Yeah. I remember hearing her doing like a DJ thing somewhere.
Yeah, that was at Plush, but she never showed up.
No shit.
Do you know who did play at Plush though? Muse.
Really?
Yeah, like way back in the day.
That's pretty dope.
It was fucking
That's
wild.
awesome, man.
Anyway, sorry I didn't interrupt.
Well, no, I mean that's, you know, pretty much where it all started. You know what I mean? Just jamming out with my buddies, and then, like I said, that kind of fizzled out. So I'm like, okay, I need to meet more musicians and spread my wings a little bit and figure something out. And
were you going to jam sessions at all, or were you like getting plugged in that way, or was this
a
people that were doing
little
stuff?
bit? So, you know, so before my other hip hop group, Jack's Beach Hippie, I had a group with my friend Vashon and my friend Ryan called the J Villains. And it was just, I was producing for them.
Great name.
I was producing for them, helping them like write the songs and stuff. And when Universal Green first started, like I said, I was friends with Paige. I was friends with Daryl. So we're like, hey, let's do some shows together. So we started doing shows at 1904 the first year they opened. And that's when I met Jason. That's when I met a bunch of other people. Like, you remember there was no stage out back.
Yep.
It was like dirt
Yep.
and mulch. And just like anytime it would rain, it would just be a swamp back there. It was crazy. but that's kind of how I met Jason. And then after meeting Jason, you know, I've just going to 1904, meeting so many people, and it's just like, okay, I know, it's like I'm friends with the guy that owns the place, and then he's introducing me to the bands that are coming here, and it's like we're all just chatting, and I'm not like, hey, let me come play in your band or anything. It's just like I just want to make friendships with these people. And over the years, it's kind of like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize that you have been producing music for this long. I didn't realize that. We should do some things together. And slowly but surely getting there, you know what I mean? I think me and you even chatted about it once. I was just like, I'm just trying to get involved with some collaborations with more people, because a lot of people say less is more, but a lot of times more is more.
Yeah,
you know what
totally.
I mean? And
well, I mean, it's good.
Like
I think
casting a net, or anyways.
Yeah,
I think is what you're saying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like I think it's important also as an artist to be able to put yourself in those different creative headspaces. You know, like what you do with one person is not going to be what you do with somebody else, and it's cool to kind of be able to put yourself in those headspaces. I don't know. That's like my favorite thing to do.
Exactly. It makes you think differently.
Yeah.
Like you write music a certain way, and then you meet up with someone that writes music a different way, and it just changes your whole perspective on the way you're doing things. And some of the greatest music you'll ever make, I feel like, comes out of, you know, collaborations with other people, for sure.
Totally, man. So I guess like to the production side of things, was that, I guess, born out of necessity more than anything else, right? It was just you weren't able to, like, the bands you were playing with were kind of like fizzling out and wasn't working out, and this is like a new thing.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I was, you know, I guess that's exactly what it was. I wasn't really playing out. I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, okay, how can I figure this out? I forgot to mention, so my buddy Sean that I do Jack's Beach Hippie with, he was part of the J Villains with me. He used to ghostwrite. We've been friends since middle school.
Okay.
So he moved up to Atlanta. He was ghostwriting for Def Jam, and was like, we kind of weren't hanging out, obviously, because I'm living in Jack's Beach. He's in Atlanta. We're both 19 years old. You can't afford to travel back and forth like that. And I hit him up one day. I'm like, hey, man, I'm like, me and my friends that play music all the time, I'm like, we need you to come do a song with us. And he's like, all right, cool. It's like, send me something over, or next time I'm in town, I'll get in touch with you guys. It's like, all right. So, you know, long story short, he never came and ended up jamming with the band, but I was making beats. So I'm like, all right, well, here, let me send you a couple tracks, whatever. I sent him one. He just straight spit, freestyled the whole thing. No hook, no nothing. It was like 5 minutes long. Nice. And I'm like, okay, well, this is really entertaining, actually. I love it. I'd never heard somebody rap over my beats before. Like, I write, but I don't like sing or, you know, rap or whatever, have too many vocal things. And just kind of got started doing that with him, and it just all blossomed so far from there. You know what I mean? That's when J Villains got created, and then after the J Villains, we started Jack's Beach Hippie. And, you know, like I said, knowing Daryl's been rapping with his brother their whole life. So it's like, as soon as I met him, he's like, I'm like, oh, I make beats. He's like, you make beats? All right, cool. Let me come rap for you. And, you know, I've got a few other friends we're working on projects with. My friend Ty, she just moved up to Jersey, got a project coming out with her. I was just talking to Kristen Campbell the other day. She wants to get on a couple songs with us. Just we don't really have anything written or ready, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of, you know, put it in the air and see what you can do. Just stay as busy. The goal, like I was telling you guys earlier, you know, I still got a full-time job, and the goal is to not have a full-time job and be a full-time musician.
Yup.
Yeah.
I'm like that every day.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
When do you think? When did hip hop become like an aspect of your life? Was that something you grew up with, or was that?
Yeah, I remember. I think I really started. So my mom, she was super cool. She was listening to like Sublime when the first album dropped. I remember I was in 2nd grade, and she's listening to freaking Pawn Shop and What I Got at our little beach house in Ponte Vedra that we had. And that kind of like just sparked something for me, you know what I mean? Bradley, he'd do his punk rock, he'd rap, he'd do his reggae stuff, and I'm like, okay, it just kind of stuck. And I don't know exactly when I really started listening to hip hop. I want to say it was probably in like 6th or 7th grade. But I remember I was in my room at my dad's house one day. I think I was either listening to like DMX or PD Pablo, some really vulgar, like angry rapping stuff. My dad opened the door and he didn't tell me to turn it off, but he's like, "What the hell are you listening to, dude?" I'm like, "Don't worry about me. I'll turn it down if it's bothering you." But I think that was my first real experience. I'm like, I enjoy it. Like, I was like, this one's from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's P.D. Pablo.
Yeah. And, that's, ever since then, because I think one of my best friends was real into hip hop when I was in middle school. And it just kind of stuck with me. It's like the instrumentals, I think, was the main thing for me. And that's when, I started building all that. And then, because you listen to rap music sometimes and it's like, wow, this person sounds like hot garbage. Yeah. And then you'll listen to rap music other times and you're just like, I got to rewind this 3 times to just listen to what this guy said. Yeah. So it really can, contemplate, or I can get it through my brain. It's like recently I've been listening to a lot of like the Roots Radio, the new J. Cole album.
I heard it's really good.
Oh my God.
He's playing basketball now.
Every album. He's doing that too.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
No. He's playing professional basketball. He's not in the NBA or anything like that. He's in like super minor, but whatever.
Yeah, but just that's like when I'm listening to music, I'm going from, hip hop to like, I like to listen to a lot of the new stuff that comes out just to kind of see
what's
going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure,
you got to stay relevant. But at the same time, I'm also listening to a lot of like pop punk and, like kind of like A Day to Remember type stuff, more, and to like Lamb of God just dropped a new album and I've been blasting that in my truck recently on my way to work.
Nice. She'll definitely get you going in the morning.
Oh yeah, yeah. For sure, dude, for sure.
I always I liked all the beats and sounds in hip hop, and actually that's where I got my start for electronic music, was in FL Studio too.
Right.
At the same time, I think it was like in 9th grade is when I like figured out that I could do the 8th or 9th grade. But that's all I listen to now is the lo-fi hip hop YouTube station, like nonstop.
So
it's my favorite.
I've been really impressed with a lot of the new music that I'm finding. It's kind of like I said, pop punk and like metal, but they're mixing in this electronic aspect of it. And I've been trying to figure that out like my whole life. As far like I said, when I first started playing, I was jamming out. We're playing punk rock. We'd play for 4 hours at a time and just go from prog rock to punk rock to little reggae breakdowns to just weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can I just I want to add 808s into here. I want to do all this. And recently I've been seeing a lot more stuff that's kind of coming out like that, and I'm super, super impressed with it. And I'm just glad it's finally, it's 10 years, 15 years later
it's
now.
Weird. It's coming back, yeah.
But it's super cool to me that you can mix in all this live instrumentation and live vocals, but not necessarily run backtracks, but you can still have your electronic part, like when you're on your keyboard, or if someone's got a drum pad and they can throw in those electronic drums and stuff. It's just so cool to me, man.
There was a what was the name of that band? They came in. So when I was running the jam over at Nighthawks on Wednesday nights, and this one band was in town from Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. I think it was Philly though. They're like a jam band. Starts with a T. You know who they are. I can't remember their name right now.
Talk.
Not Talk. That would be amazing. It's like not Twiddle, but something similar to that.
Oh, Tweed.
Tweed. Yeah, Tweed.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
So they came in, and they played a show that weekend, or the previous weekend, and then they stayed in town and were just hanging out for the week. And then we came and ran the jam night, me, Steve, and Pat Shoemaker, and so these guys came in, and the drummer was like, I do like a lot of like DJ stuff as well. Would you guys be cool if I set up like my Ableton and did my thing? And I was like, bro, I would love to jam with you on that.
Right.
So he set it up, and it was really cool because I had jammed with some other DJs there and didn't work out because they weren't like they were they were like playing like a track list, you know.
Right.
This dude had like loops made and all this stuff like ready to be put in a situation where it was a band situation.
Yeah.
And we just started jamming on that stuff, and it was like the most fun I ever had jamming, like at that point in a long time, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like I love doing that kind of stuff.
That's awesome, dude. I think that's actually I was thinking about that on my drive earlier. That's where I think I met you, was at the jam sessions, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was still Nighthawks when you were hosting those jam sessions.
Yeah.
I'd known Steve for a while. I came and met you there, jammed out, played a couple songs, and I was just like, all right, well, this is pretty rad.
That's right. I remember that.
And then I think I came back. I want to say it was one of your jam sessions too, but like Alex was there. You had Aaron playing the drums.
Yeah.
I had all my keyboards in the truck with me, so I just brought up my little bass station and my mini Nova, and Alex was playing the bass station. I'm doing like some weird vocoder stuff on there. You're playing the guitar. I think Steve or Adam was playing bass. Aaron just was shredding on the drums as usual, and man, that was a super, super fun time.
Yeah, man. That jam had some really fun moments where it was like, just like sometimes like the right group of people would show up and there was some like magic that happened on that stage, man. It was fun for sure. All right, so there's like a lot of different when people say a producer in music, there's like a million things that can mean.
Right.
So when you say that you're a producer, what does that mean specifically to you?
So like I said, I've been making whole tracks forever. Probably a good almost 15 years now, I'd say. That it started out like, oh, just you're a beat maker. Like when you first start, you're like, oh, I'm a producer. Like you telling all your friends you're a producer. Like I don't have a city job picking up trash right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm a producer.
Right.
And this was when I was growing up, and then just throughout the years, it just kind of evolved. Like I've bought in tons of different VSTs just so you have good sounds and stuff. I got a bunch of different hardware at my house. Like I've got a whole studio room at my house that I work and try to make cool things out of,
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I'm recording my friends when they come over to the house. There was a while, a buddy of mine, I haven't talked to him in a while, but his family, his dad I don't know if he was the manager or the producer or what, but he worked with 95 South and what's the other one?
A1A?
There's 90 or 95 boys, and either way, I was hanging out with them, but I was going to like the Wind Squad studio downtown every now and then, hanging out with those guys, kind of working. Short Fuse is another little spot they had in there, but that was like real. It's like all hip hop stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was so cool, like just learning, hanging out with Paige, like we were talking about Rice, and going to Warehouse Studios. Like it's so much different. Warehouse is, there's 50 instruments in the main studio, whereas when you go to a hip hop studio, it's kind of, you're sitting at a computer and a piano.
It's like a vocal booth, and then like the control room
is
enough for 3 people.
But to me, I mean, producing is just like, make everything from the beat, help write the track, record the track. I mix everything. I don't know much about mastering or not, but I've got a few people you can just send it to or whatever.
Yeah.
How all that works. You pay somebody. I'd rather pay someone to do it so I can spend more time on actually making new stuff. You know what I mean? But then on top of that, like just recently we're really trying to start filming more stuff and just turning it into a whole thing. You know what I mean? Instead of just putting music on, YouTube, iTunes, whatever, actually putting like a vision behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've got this whole situation going on.
That's definitely a big role of a producer, is just to be able to see that vision and make sure you get the right people involved to help get that vision out there,
Right.
Hey everyone, just want to take a second to talk to you about one of our favorite music venues, Blue Jay Listening Room. Blue Jay is a space for true music lovers where every ticket is a backstage pass. Silence your cell phones, enjoy a nice glass of wine or craft beer, and be part of an intimate experience unlike anywhere else in Jacksonville. Hear national and local artists sing their original songs and share the stories behind them in a space carefully curated for the premier show-going experience. I personally have seen some of my favorite shows here, as well as having played with some of my heroes. Not only is Blue Jay a wonderfully unique experience, it has become a staple in the Florida music scene. Mention Bottom of the Bill on your next visit and receive 10% off your tab. Blue Jay is located at 2457 3rd Street South, Jacksonville Beach, and be sure to check out www.bluejayjacks.com for news, ticketing, and events.
That's what this whole podcast was originally about, is like, instead of just like doing it like willy-nilly, like actually having a strategic plan for everything that you want to do.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, is just, instead of just saying, okay, here's a song, put it out, like, well, here's a song, we need this long to promote it, we need this long to film for it, we need this long, play it at this many shows, blah, blah, blah. It's like that means a lot to me, just trying to, almost like, I don't want to say a management position, but it's like you go to a job and your manager says, okay, we need to do this, this, and this today. That's kind of how I feel about it. I've got big old chalkboards in my studio room. We write everything down. We write our lyrics down if we're recording, okay, we got these songs that we need to finish, And it's definitely a task, to say the least, but just like I said, just try to get your hands in as many windows as possible, but definitely don't want to overdo it either, because then you kind of lose that creative aspect. I feel like if you're got your fingers in too many places, you're not gonna focus on the things you really need to focus on.
Yeah, that definitely ends up being a big problem for me, for sure. It's like trying to do like all these different things, and then it's like, wait, when was the last time I just sat down and like wrote a song?
Yeah,
that's the kind of shit that gets to me all the time.
That's why I don't really like the music business very much. I mean, I'm definitely like, fucking knee deep into it at this point, but I remember
been in it for a few years, thinking about getting out of it.
Yeah, right. No, it's not really like trying to get out of it.
I know.
I just want to be like you said, like at least somehow like reserve some time. But before you were into it, you didn't really like ever reserve time to like practice or like write new songs.
Right.
You were just like, oh, I'm just like so free. I can just write a new song whenever it comes to me and never have to worry about any sort of thing after it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That kind of existential dread.
Next thing you know,
just hangs over you like all the time, and then it just makes you just want to just like sit at home and do nothing. So, anyways,
I totally understand, dude. It's like you write one song, but then you listen to it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And only you and two of your friends have ever heard it, and you're like, I don't even want to put the song out anymore. I'm just tired of listening to it.
I can tell you right now that since I've gotten the masters for the new album, I will never listen to those songs ever again.
No, I know, man.
Dude,
I feel the same way.
The album's not even coming out for another like 2 months, and I will never listen to those songs ever again.
He told me he finally finished. They finally finished one of the music videos for it, and I just want to see it. I'm like,
no, over it.
I don't care.
Over it. Just put it out. Call it a day.
A couple months and then maybe I will.
I know what the song is. We'll play it behind us on a projector at a show one day.
Bro, it's so like it's so true. Even today I was doing something. I started like I go into like these like I get very impulsive about stuff, and I'll go on like these tangents of like booking gigs, or I start to think about like really in depth about marketing stuff and what the next thing is. And I was like, okay, so just my brain instantly today went to, I was like, okay, so what is it? It's May. Okay, that means we should be working on the next album by December. Okay, we're gonna take, so we're gonna tour, so we're gonna tour for the rest of the year, and then we're gonna after the album comes out, and then December we're gonna take a break and go back to the studio and start do it again. It's just like it's already like, and it's okay. It needs to be out by next May again. That's what needs to happen. I'm just
like next thing you know, you didn't play your guitar for 3 days, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm thinking about these things too much.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to balance. It's all. I mean, time management is so important in this thing.
For sure. And it's hard having a full-time job, and especially like I said, I'm getting up in the mornings and doing construction during the day, so it's hard to be motivated sometimes when you get home. But at the same time, it's like it's more motivating to realize, like I said, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 all day. I want to be a full-time musician in whatever shape, form, or fashion that comes in. I'll figure that out when I get there, I suppose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just try to stay as busy as you can, and work with all your friends and have a good time, but just don't overdo it.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're like producing tracks and working with different people, obviously, like, depending on who you're working with, you're probably going to be doing things like approaching it a little bit differently for each person. But like, is there something about something that you produce that has like your stamp on it? Like, if I listen to something, like what about a track that you make makes it you, other than the fact that you made it? But you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand. I try to just, I don't know. I guess there's not a certain thing that I would say, but it's like I try to, incorporate live instruments as much as possible. And then in the same breath, but like you also want to cater whoever you're working with. You want to make sure that they're happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not working with too many other people. But at the same breath, when I do work with these people, it's like, all right, what do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like I can sit here and play a couple keys on the piano and make a beat in 30 minutes, no problem, but if whoever I'm with they don't like it, like, okay, well, what if you try this? What if you try that? And it's like, I'm always open to try new things, but then sometimes, you'll have people at your house that aren't necessarily a musician, not that I'm recording them, but there's like other people have these ideas and they're like, you should do, add a spider sound to it, or add, the freaking weird noise to it. Like,
what the fuck's a spider sound? Okay. Yeah. Has that been an actual request and you bring that
No,
up?
not from me.
Spider sounds.
Yeah, add a spider sound to it. But
There.
there's a lot of people, it's like I said, when I first started producing, when I was in high school, it's like you get to, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. However, it's like you think you're the shit. You know what I mean? It's like you've got all these ideas, and then you actually meet someone that's been doing it for a longer time. And it's like, oh, man. It's like, hold on. Like, I got to humble myself right now because this isn't working. And that's what I try to do every time I'm working on something. If I'm with a new person or even just with myself, I'm like, how can I do something differently than what I normally do? It's like, instead of just starting with, a melody or a drum beat, like, how can I think of something different? Even when I try to not produce my own sounds. I can't. Sound design.
Oh yeah.
Sound design. I try to do that, and then sometimes it's like, sometimes it works out really well, and then other times you're sitting there for 4 or 5 hours working on the same snare drum, and you're like, I can't get this right. But that's why I got Omnisphere, Contact, all those, external VSTs and stuff, and it's like you can just dig through and find new sounds every single time you get on your computer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of not talk about myself, but, like, I was thinking about it when you asked me for that bio, like, when it comes to writing and stuff. I'm like, I can write a song, you know what I mean? Because I don't have to think about myself. But writing that bio, it's like it's hard for me to kind of write about myself. And so when it comes to making music, I don't know. I guess it's the same way. I just try to stay as diverse as I possibly can.
It's a real good attitude to have, man.
It's like working with friends, and like we were just talking about a few minutes ago, it's like you get someone in the studio that you haven't been in the studio with. It'll change your whole perspective, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll try this, and then it works out, and
It can also change your whole relationship with them too.
Yeah,
because they could be like, I don't know if I actually like you as a human being anymore.
Exactly.
That shit's like, there's something weird about that experience. It's like as vulnerable. It's becoming as vulnerable as you can possibly be without actually like sleeping with somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And not not a.
Okay.
This is why our last podcast we talked about.
We do sleep
in the same bed together on the road. That is true. But this is what we talked about in the last podcast about me being a PR nightmare. I just say shit that's like not
Do you think
appropriate.
of the words before you? Do you pick them, or did they just come out?
They just come out, bro.
Come out,
There's no there's a. I do have a filter, but it's
at
also
at least it's real.
It is real.
Yeah.
It is real. I do have a filter, and I do try and think about what I say, but I'm also very slow. So sometimes the words that I should say don't come out. It's like what's the simplest way to say this? It's the most offensive way to say it too. So I'll say it that way, and the point still gets across. You know what I mean? I don't mean to be a dick. It just comes out that way. Anyways, yeah. So it is extremely vulnerable without having to.
Well, and some other people, like you say, you bring.
Thank you for saving me.
I was like waiting for you to finish.
You bring someone to your studio, and it's like they don't like how you work. You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, I want to do everything I can with you, but goddamn, dude, give me a fucking break. There's only so much I can do, and it's like I can't make a spider sound.
Yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean?
Don't make a fucking sound, you idiot.
There's only so much you can do, but the thing, just try to stay as humble as possible is my whole thing. Just try to keep a level head, and if someone gets on my nerves, it's like, hey man, sorry, it's not working out. I'll send you a freaking beat pack on Google Drive or something, and you can figure it out yourself. But
have you ever had to do that before?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I have one specific thing coming in my head right now. When I was probably 21 or 22, I was living in Mayport, and we were still doing J-Villain stuff, and one of our buddies we went to high school with came over. Well, he brought a friend with him, and his friend was like, oh man, he's like, I love this is so cool, this is awesome. He's like, you guys should let me get on a song. And we're like, all right, bet, let's listen to some more beats, we'll chill for a little while. Well, he's drinking, I think he was drinking Jim Beam, and
classy.
It just randomly, just out of nowhere, bro, like we're listening to beats, he's like, I don't fucking like this shit. I'm like, what happened, dude? Like, what changed? He's like, I don't like this shit, y'all need to change it. And I'm like, okay, well, you obviously got a problem right now. This Jim Beam is taking over your brain or something. I'm like, you gotta get the fuck out of the house. He's like, what are you gonna do if I don't? I'm like, we're gonna drag you out of this house if you don't leave. And his buddy's like, oh shit. He's like, hey, I can't remember what his name is. He's like, bro, he's like, we gotta go. They're gonna drag us out of this house right now. And I was like, man, like, how did it go from I love you guys, this is so fun, to what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like anything changed. No one's demeanor changed, I guess, except that guy's.
Yeah, right.
Did you send him a beat pack?
No, he didn't get a beat pack. He didn't get the beat pack.
Right.
Nope.
Fuck.
But hey, send me an email if you're watching this, and you can check out my website, and you can buy some beats. How about that?
There you go.
I thought you were talking to that one guy that you pulled out of your house.
No, I was.
And then you were like, I thought you were going to be like, yeah, if you're watching this, you can suck my balls.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. That too.
I was waiting for
you
that.
can pay me. You can have it. You can suck a dick too. Whatever. Fuck it.
Oh, someone taking the heat off of me now. This is great. I love it.
Oh man. But yeah, that's honestly, like I said, I try to stay as humble as possible, and that's really the only bad experience I've had like that. I don't work with too many people. I'd rather work with like a friend or someone that like I really vibe with, and that way you can kind of just like, you can build a whole thing. You know what I mean? It's not like me just, here's 10 beats, do whatever the hell you want with them. It's kind of like, I want to work with you to make this the best song possible.
Yeah, totally.
And so, yeah.
I've worked with people where they just don't have any work ethic also, and that's a really hard one too, because they go like, it's okay, well, let's sit down and write this. I don't produce in that way, but I like with writing tunes and stuff, so you'll sit down with somebody and say, okay, so what are you trying to do with this song here? Let's try, like what's the chord progression? I can try to help you write some melodies over it. We can try to write some lyrics and kind of just bounce some ideas off each other back and forth and just kind of see what happens. And they'll work for like 10 minutes and say, okay, you want to go grab, like, I gotta go to the store and buy cigarettes, or I gotta, let's go grab. No, you got a pretty good work ethic.
Oh no, I just know people like that too.
Oh yeah.
I know I have a really good work ethic. I don't leave. I'm get pissed at you for being like, we should do this fucking take for the 100th time. I'm like, okay.
Well, that means I have a good work ethic too, though, right? Because I'm trying to get the best fucking take.
Which is the worst thing for a work ethic.
I read this thing recently. You guys know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
Entrepreneur, just super keep saying super humble guy, but just he's got it. VaynerMedia, I think, is what it is. But he has this quote that he says, "Perfection is a disguise for insecurity." And I wrote that on my chalkboards. I'm like, wow, because I used to be the same way, dude. We've got 100 songs that only me and Sean have listened to. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it's not ready yet. It's not ready. And it's like, you know what? Just it's done. There's no reason that it's not ready. Put the song out. I'm like, I don't need to change these hi-hats anymore. I don't need to do anything else to this song. Just put it out, and I can work on a new song.
Yeah.
You know, and that really stuck with me. Perfection is a disguise for insecurity. That
it doesn't.
I'm right there with you. I totally agree with you.
That is a great quote, and I can agree with that too, because I'm not saying that my approach is the best way to do it, but there is also, like, when I listen back to something and I can hear, like, that's also true, but when I can hear issues like with the timing, or if I hit like a wrong note,
right,
that kind of shit, you can't let that kind of shit slide. You know, like that's just sloppy. Like, you're not gonna hear a song on the radio, or it doesn't have to be the radio. Your favorite band of all time that maybe never got radio play but is very successful, let's say, you listen to one of their records, you're not gonna hear that kind of shit on there.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just all. That's my approach. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to sound like them. At least it needs to be that level of clean. And otherwise, it's like, what are we doing here? You know, we're not like fucking 19 years old. We're in our 30s and we're trying to be successful here.
I think it sounds 100%. Too clean, though. You know what I mean?
You think it sounds too clean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
sometimes you need that little bit of like grunge and dirt behind it.
Yeah. Even Mr. Clean still's got that gold earring. You know what I'm saying? He's not 100% sterile.
Well, I mean, there is something to be said about that, right? I mean, look at Jack White and the White Stripes.
Yeah.
And everything that Jack White does is so stripped down and
like
raw.
Every funk record ever.
From the 70s, yeah,
from
sure.
The Parliament, yeah.
Okay,
every
okay, but like, we're also 40 years. You listen to early Prince records and you hear the mistakes on there.
Yeah.
That's a different time.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't happen now. No. You don't put on the radio and hear mistakes on the radio. Is all I'm saying.
But is that better?
If you fuck up your recording, just call it jazz fusion, and then you're good to go.
Touche. No, but are you asking if it is better? And yes, it is better. That it sounds perfect on. Look at. If you want the human element, go see a live show. Yeah. When you want to listen to something for the perfect form, when you want to listen to perfection,
there you go.
Okay. when you don't want the human element, when you want to just hear something in its like perfect state, then that's when you put the record on. That's for me, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, like.
No, I agree for sure.
Like, I don't expect to go see.
Billy's not agreeing.
I do. I mean, I get what he's saying, because like some of my favorite, because I listen to electronic all the time, and that is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way around it.
Yeah, it's weird that you wouldn't agree with me on this.
Huh?
It's actually weird that you wouldn't agree with me on this.
Well, because like when it comes down to the, it's not really the perfection that's your problem. It's just like the thing that gets me so upset is that you'll be like, this is perfect, this is perfect, this is perfect, this is perfect right here, and the next day be like, we have to redo this whole thing.
Yeah,
that's what pisses me off more than anything.
That does happen a lot.
I think that's what from now on, like, you could just be like. Just always be like, we're almost there.
We're almost there.
and then I would never get upset or anything like that.
I'm a difficult person to work with in the studio, and not because I'm unwilling to try new things, but it is because of that there, where it's like I'm just never satisfied with my performances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've done it a million times. You know what I mean? It's like you play one riff, and then you listen to it 10 times, and you're like, ooh, I could add this to it, or I could add that to it. And then you start actually playing it, like when you play live or whatever, and you're like, sounds so much better than the recording. But I'm just trying to get to that point. I'm like, once it's done, it's not that it's done, but things are always going to evolve. But it's like, man, I don't know.
There's like a Venn diagram
focusing on things.
Yeah, it's like how many takes you can do, how good it sounds, and then right here in the middle is how much money you have. I think that's what makes me so upset. So I'm like, we're just gonna.
Money should never come into the equation when we're talking about art, okay? And I know that's a crazy thing to talk about because everything costs money. Well, no. Look, for the person who's in charge of the budgeting and has to deal with all of the numbers when it comes to everything, I'm the one who gets least. He's the one who gets so worked up about the money.
I do.
And I'm just like, if I'm not worried about it, you don't worry about it,
right?
Because like. it should never be in your head when we're sitting in the studio and we're trying to like finish an idea about where we're at in the clock. That even if we don't have the money in the bank, we'll figure that part out.
Right.
We have to make sure this is what we want at the end of the day. You know, and that's my mindset when it comes to it.
My mindset is I don't want to eat Pop-Tarts for dinner, so
well,
for the rest of my life.
I think that's a big reason, you know, coming back to it, I think that's a big reason I also, you know, started producing and doing everything out of my house. You know, I've got I didn't build a booth in there, but I've got, you know, my microphones are basically in this box that's soundproofed, that's got everything on the front of it, so you can stand in front of it. As long as you're wearing headphones, you're not going to pick up anything. I think that was huge for me, was I don't have the money to go sit in a studio. And granted, this was a long time ago when I got all this equipment and stuff, you know, but I really, you know, I totally understand both sides of this. You know what I mean? Like now, I'll sit in, if we're going to a studio to record the Universal Green album, I'll sit there as long as it takes. The money's not an issue. But in the same breath, like, we could do it for cheaper somewhere else.
Totally. That is true.
Same quality. Not that you're, not to put off in studios like they can't do it right. You know what I mean? But if you know what you're doing and you've got the right equipment at your house, like, okay, I can spend X amount of dollars on this equipment and learn how to do it myself and never have to, you know, necessarily pay someone for it again. Or I can go to the studio and then, you know, we're still coming out of pocket every hour. But that's also it kind of comes back to working with other people. You want another engineer that hasn't listened to your song 50 times, you know what I mean? Because they're going to say, okay, we need to change this or we need to change that. And shit.
That's why I think we should experiment with doing it at home. We're all comfortable and everything too. 'Cause that's the other thing. We go like on the road. And it's just like you know, going to work for a week. And then getting an engineer to come to us. And then pay him $50 an hour, $40 an hour, and then we just do it all at home.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there's
that's the cheapest way to do it.
Well, especially because like a lot of bands, not even bands, but just artists in general nowadays are doing everything direct in. Granted, they have like great software to get like amazing sounds when it comes to guitar and bass and all that, but it's like, you know, you really don't need to go into a studio to like record guitars anymore. Right. You can just plug right in, and like the technology has gotten so advanced that you really can't tell the difference if you have the right plugins and the right software.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I've seen Steven Slate, they've got like that giant console that they have now that you can record everything right out of. But I was looking at, like, you can buy that same console to put on your MacBook or your whatever kind of computer you have, and you pay $20 a month for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and if you can learn all that stuff, granted, there's people that got everything that they can just work right off of, but I think being able to learn the engineering and mixing and mastering and all that stuff is huge when it comes to, you know, bands like us. You know, we're not these giant national touring bands. We're not doing anything super crazy. Granted, we're having a great time. We're playing awesome shows. But it never hurts to keep learning, you know?
Oh, totally, man. I mean, I have Logic on this thing right here. And I mean, I have like we have like an interface, like a Scarlet interface or whatever. Yeah. Nothing crazy, but I've been learning how to, you know, just at least like use Logic and be able to record stuff on my own. Yeah. I've got a couple plugins that I use for guitar stuff that I try and just, you know, work with, and that's how I've been able to do like these little collaborations for my house and stuff, and it's been cool. It also helped me tremendously when I was in the studio working, because it was okay. Well, even if they're using a different software, I at least know what the language is. Yeah, you know what I mean?
They're all pretty much the same. You know, just different buttons. You know, Pro Tools, Logic, Reason, FL, whatever.
I'm like the only person who likes Cubase the most, but I just love it.
No, Jason uses Cubase.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's true.
One of the producers that I follow online that I've been following for years, he's Superstar O is his name, $1 million producer. He's producing, you know, hit records on the radio and stuff. Cubase.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, I just like the shortcuts are so much easier in my opinion, but
I've been using FL for so long, and it's just so user friendly. And like I said, you know, the stock stuff in FL is not great.
It's not good in any of them, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I've spent a lot of money on, virtual instruments and VSTs and, your reverbs and your delays and whatever else you might need. And it's like you spend a little bit of money and it's like you get the quality, whatever DAW you're using.
Yeah. That's it's like the same argument about like iPhone versus Android, right? It's like it's really just whatever you're used to, whatever you got first, and whatever you learned is what makes sense for you.
Yeah, and it's not the program, it's the user. You can make good music on a freaking cell phone if you want to.
Yeah.
I've heard GarageBand beats off an iPhone that are just blow your mind type beats. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to think that people can sit there doing this and make an entire production out of it.
Somebody was talking about one of my unpopular opinions a few weeks ago was that what was it? What did I say? Something about like the big screens and the Teslas are like a bad idea. That was one of my unpopular opinions. And somebody was like, yeah, you can actually like make beats and stuff on those now. And I was like, yeah, which proves my point even more because like, why would you be driving and making beats?
Autopilot, bro.
Yeah.
Autopilot.
Car drives you, dude, not the other way around. My follow-up on all that stuff, talking about like I trying your hardest to get the best sound and everything, recording everything. That's really what I really want to know. I want the numbers. I want the pie chart. What do you think the output device that most people listening to music are on? Is it
cell phones and laptops?
100%.
Cell phone speakers, right?
100%.
Not even earbuds or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. Or some $20 little Bluetooth speaker you can get at Walmart or some shit.
I was like, okay, well then it's either that or like when you work out and you put headphones and everything like that. Other than me, like I have a nice like little setup, but I'm a musician and I'm like not an audiophile like 100%, but like if I had the money, of course I would get the best thing. Or in your car, like your car's speaker system. And especially in America, people are driving cars all the time. But across the world, they're not doing that. So they're just like listening to music on their way to work or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole point I'm trying to say is all that perfection and like all those little stuff. Does that even come through to anybody?
See, it's crazy. I don't think a lot of people, a normal person. If you're not a musician, if you're not really listening to it,
normal people,
that stuff's not going through their head. They're listening on their freaking plastic iPhone headphones, and like you say, they're driving to work or they're riding their bike, and it's like they're listening to an MP3 that they ripped off of YouTube. Like they do not care about your wave files. They don't care about your bit rates.
This is true, but I also.
But it's not to say you shouldn't put out the best quality content you can.
Because it's also not just about them either, though, right? It's like I want to listen to it and be like, I'm stoked that we did this.
Yeah.
And other people that really appreciate music will too. And I don't know. I just think I'd actually be curious if you guys are still watching at this point. I'd be curious to know what you think about it. Leave it in the comments on YouTube and Instagram. Anyways, but honestly though, it's like. Most people are listening to it on cell phones or laptop speakers or whatever it might be, like cheap headphones. But I mean, when they do put it on to like a real system, it'd be dope to be like, oh man, I didn't realize that this thing was panning from side to side. I didn't realize that this thing was going on like back here while this was going on over here. Like I didn't even hear this fucking thing going on my speaker. Yeah. It's shit like that. Like
what's his name from Black Flag? Rollins.
Henry Rollins.
He spent something close to like $1 million on an audio system because he's like one of the biggest audiophiles.
Oh, I totally believe it.
And it's just like insane what these speakers look like. Those people they're never gonna ever get a chance to either go to a studio, hardly ever. They're sure as fuck not gonna have enough money to get those speaker systems.
I know, but it's not.
I'm just
that stuff's not for them. That stuff is for.
I'm devil's advocate on this 100%. I don't think they'll ever hear it.
In the same breath, dude, like I've got one of them little JBL Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
And the sound that comes out of that is really good.
It's
surprisingly.
Pretty good.
Like,
they sound decent.
I've got my studio monitors at the house.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I'm like playing beats or something and I need to take a break, I need to export something, I've got my little JBL and it's like, turn that thing right on. It's like I listen to it all day when I'm working and stuff. It's like,
yeah, JBLs are nice.
The qualities are they're starting to get really nice on some of this stuff for not a big price tag.
For sure.
For sure. But I'm right there with both of you guys though. Like, I want my music to sound. I want to go to Henry Rollins' studio and listen to every song I've ever made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I also want to listen to it in my truck with the blown speakers and the 212s in the
Also
back that
true.
are way too loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
I'll go to Henry Rollins' place and listen to your tunes and your truck on the broken speakers as well.
On the way.
I will never listen to our songs again though. You know what I mean? I will never listen to side hustle
seriously.
music ever again. Is all I'm saying.
Because you don't have.
I'm just tired of
speakers?
listening. No, I'm just tired of listening to it at this point. Because
No,
I'm
that
going back to a
reminds me-
joke from earlier.
I
you
know.
get it?
I know. You're doing a callback, but that reminds me. You ever seen Knocked Up before? With Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to a James Taylor concert and he asks James Taylor, he's like, James Taylor, do you ever get tired of playing your own songs? And he goes, I don't know. Do you ever get tired of touching your own dick?
Yeah. I remember
I
that.
don't really,
I do
I don't
remember
really
once.
100% believe in it.
God, I don't remember what festival it was at, but so Universal Green, we did I think it was a 4-track EP that we recorded, and then we were playing at Swanee, and I'm driving around like, you know, whatever, you're chilling, you're driving around looking at shit throughout the day, and I'm listening to my music. Well, I come across one of my friends and they're like, you really listening to your own music? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm listening to my own music right now. I love this shit. I'm so stoked. Granted, I haven't listened to that shit in forever because we play it all the time now, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I like listening to my music, but I get sick of it sometimes.
Yeah,
dude.
I think I'll be good to listen to it again in like 6 months or something, or like a year. But like right now, I'm just like, if I have to listen to one more fucking mix or like approve one more mastering session, I'm just gonna fucking kill myself.
Yeah, 'cause you guys just spend a lot of time in the studio, right? How you did a whole big album, or EP, 6, 8 tracks, 10 tracks,
7 tracks, but I mean, like they're all like 6.5 minutes, 7-minute long songs.
Yeah.
One of them, his song's like 9.5 minutes.
It's a good size.
It's a good size.
yeah,
It's a good
It's
size.
an hour.
It's a good size.
Yeah, it's about an hour, or 45 minutes, which is a full length album. But like we don't get, but it's a full length album without listening to 10 tunes, or like 12 songs. It's literally just 7 songs that are really long, and then it's like you gotta listen to like, and they're all like these big sections. It's a whole thing, and it's like, you know, we were down there. We went. I think we made like 5 trips down to the studio to finish this thing.
Yeah.
And 4 days at a time. Every day was like 12-hour days, and it's just like, and then we get them back, and it's like, okay, we gotta listen to them, and we gotta listen to them on car speakers, we gotta listen to them in these speakers, listen to them on Bluetooth speakers.
Oh,
We
yeah,
do all,
that's the worst. Listen on 3 different pairs of headphones.
Yeah.
Listen on your phone, your Bluetooth, 3
I know.
different cars.
yeah.
I know you always want to have like the lowest common denominator be the one that you're like, this sounds good out of an iPhone speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in the studio where it was like, hey, can we cut off the sub? Can we cut off the 12s? Can we cut, and the 10s? Let's put on these little fucking shitty Yamahas that are like this big real quick,
that's right.
and just listen
No
to them like
shit,
this.
dude.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
and that shit, and like it was so surprising how we were catching shit on that. We were like, oh man, the highs are way too crazy on this, and then you turn them down here, all of a sudden it sounds better through the subs.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's one thing I learned, like just watching a bunch of studio engineers. They all say it's like how, like, because granted, you want to turn it up, you want to get freaking crunk when you're in there and have a good time, and you want it to just be like, oh, how would this sound live? But at the same time, it's like you almost need to have these volumes low. It's like just so like you can have a conversation at the point, and that way it's like when you go, say you're at a party, you're playing music, people can't talk because the music's too loud, so they go outside, turn the music back down, they can come in and have a conversation, but they can still listen to everything you just made, but still be able to hear everything, you know, clearly. You've still got that little bit of bass that might hit you in your chest or wherever. I think that's super important for sure.
That's super important, and also like ear fatigue is a real thing. So when
yeah.
you're listening at loud levels for any amount of time, specifically like when you're really listening on that level, I don't mean like just hearing it. I mean like you're focusing on every aspect of that song.
Right.
Did the bass just buzz right here?
Oh,
like
man.
shit like this. It's like. And so you have to keep the volume relatively low so your ears can work for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you just start hearing shit that's not happening. Yeah. It's like you're like these auditory hallucinations that start to happen after like 6 hours of being in there.
That's a pretty good band name.
Auditory hallucinations.
Yeah, I like that.
That is a good one. I like that.
idea when you were talking about that. What if like people started coming out with songs and like there's some sort of program or something? I don't even know how to do it. It would be like, what speakers are you playing on? And it would just automatically switch to that bit rate or something like that.
That'd be dope.
Or like the EQ, and like say like every single song has actually 5 mixes on it. It'd be like, hey, we have these lo-fi speakers, and it'd be like, all right, bass all the way up. And
that is
maybe turn the fucking treble down.
That's a software you should create.
Yeah.
Fucking copyright pending.
You put it in the air now, Billy.
We'll edit it out so no one gets your idea, and we'll
That's a
work
great
on it.
idea, though, isn't it?
It's a great idea. I love that
Well,
idea.
I'm sure someone's fucking thought of that though. Already.
Don't say that though. I mean, maybe probably not, and then
I
you
don't
can
know
just create it.
about making code or anything like that.
You gotta get
but-
investors, bro.
Bro, that would be such a good one though. Man, think about
Talk
that.
to Jason Honeycutt.
You know, and it would be so simple to do just on like an album, anyways. Just to have like album and be like the iPhone version.
Oh my god, yeah.
like a
This
preset. It's like a
This is the
preset.
studio version. This is the iPhone version.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to
Like you go like
say.
into Ozone. Like
Oh,
Ozone has like
but-
like mastering presets. It's like, okay, so this is your master for an iPhone.
Yeah.
This is your master for a Bluetooth
Yeah.
speaker.
And
That'd
I'm just trying to say, and then you could go back in time and redo all the classics. Do fucking
Yeah, then you
Wish You Were
gotta
Here
produce
or
the
whatever.
same album 12 times.
Oh man.
Well, no, that's why you yeah, that is true though. I guess you have to produce
Right.
it.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
made more work for myself than that.
Yeah.
Way more work.
get on it,
That's
bro.
what I'm like. There's because that's what every single song is just one version of it, and then it's just like, well, I hope your speakers are what we recorded it on because this is how we heard it.
Yeah.
Because unless you're listening to it on the exact same speakers that they were, like literally not even a copy of what they, but like the same speakers, it's never gonna sound exactly the way that the writer made it.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be very close, but
It'll be close. I mean, like, look at like every pop record that's ever come out. They haven't heard it on whatever. I mean, they've heard it on a lot of speakers, but
shit,
they,
man, you could get so deep with this. You'd be like, we had like every single fucking speaker, like
for like every
EQ.
car, like every Bluetooth system,
dude.
every like
Are you
phone
Are you
that's
kidding
out
me?
there.
Like the Tesla version.
You
Yeah.
understand how big the warehouse would have to be to have all them studios and speakers in there?
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like obviously, like that would be like there'd be mastering, and it's called Ultra Master, is what I just came up with. So it's the Ultra Master, and they would just have, like you said, it would be like a giant fucking warehouse out in fucking Nevada somewhere, and it would just have every fucking speaker that's on the market
But
right now.
all you have to do though
And
is
then you would just show up, and you'd be like, either you send a guy and be like, hey, we were doing a good job on all these different ones, or you can actually come in for a little bit extra price. Give me money.
No,
This is such a fucking
all you have
good
to do,
idea.
no,
Right.
all you have to do though, you only have to do that process one time if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because like it's like what they do with like the image scanning stuff with new
QR codes.
No. So like
I don't know.
guitars, like acoustic guitars now, a lot of them have like they have like the preamps in them or whatever.
Yeah.
But now what they've done is they've uploaded like these images into them of the sound waves of the guitar being mic'd at different areas of the room. Right, so it's like, and then you can there's presets basically. You set the preset, and it's like this is what your guitar sounded like when it was being recorded. With a mic in the corner of the room and
And
a
the
mic.
preamps in the guitars?
The images are uploaded into the preamp. Yeah, the preamps are into the guitar. So like typically like an acoustic electric has like the preamps like on top
Right,
here.
right, yeah.
And so
I've got
those
a little
preamps.
elevation, yeah.
Yeah, so they're just like that, and the images of the sound waves are uploaded. It's like a software. They're uploaded into that preamp, and then you just put the presets on there, and that's what happens. But they weren't doing that for every single guitar. They do it one time for that specific model, and they upload those sounds into every model of that guitar. So you only have to mix like maybe a few different genres of music down like that on different speakers. You get those, you save the presets on the EQs, and then everybody who comes in with a song, it's like, oh, this is a pop tune. Okay, here's a preset for an iPhone speaker. Here's a preset for an LG Velvet. Here's a preset for an Avalanche system.
Yeah, for sure you could
Well,
do
I
it that
mean,
way.
They definitely
doesn't
kind
exist
of
already,
they
though.
definitely kind of do shit like that.
Right.
When it comes to your DAWs, like you can go online and get presets for Ableton, for Logic, for anything.
That's true, yeah.
Drop it right in your mixer, and it's like maybe not necessarily like I'm sure they've got it for guitars and bass and drums at this point, but it's like I know for a fact you drop your vocal presets, it's going to put your EQ, your reverb,
Yeah.
this and that and the other in there, and it's like it's going to be different for every person. You're going to have to adjust it a little bit.
But they don't have
but
it
it'll definitely speed up the work process.
But they don't have it for speakers though. Like they don't have it for you know what I mean. Like they have it for if you're looking for this vocal sound, this is what you got to do. If you're looking for this guitar sound, this is what these are the presets that you want. However, they don't have it.
Stoner thought now because like aren't there just like bass and trebles on the fucking stereo that you can mess with and
yeah, but those are so unsophisticated though.
I mean, you got 1, 2, and 3. Think about a EQ, and you're looking at the mixing board. You know what I mean? You can
all those
you can chop out one single frequency and.
No, it's just
or you just turn it down. Yeah.
What if you went into a studio and they're like
crank the mids and the highs and turn the bass all the way down. You're good to go.
What are you listening to?
I don't know.
Like Tchaikovsky?
Yeah.
No, but like, what if you went into a studio and it just had like just fucking we got this and they're just like messing with the bass and treble and mids. They have mids now, and it's just 3 knobs.
Just 3 mid knobs.
Yeah, I went to fucking Juilliard for this. I went to Full Sail. Anyways,
I mean, basically,
maybe that's a good idea. I don't know, but
it's a great idea.
Sorry.
But I mean,
you
won't
not.
You won't follow through though, right?
How am I supposed to? I don't know anything technical about that.
You start doing the research, bro. Go on Shark Tank and investor.
That's the other thing too. Most people,
someone will do it for you.
The only people that would care about it is us, is musicians, because nobody else would give a fuck.
That's true. It's such a small market, and then
Yeah.
of the musicians that would actually care, or music industry people that would care, it's like a fraction of that, right? Because like think about like most musicians that you know that don't know shit about being in the studio, that would never buy that anyways. So there's like this subset of people within this counterculture already.
Yeah.
So you have it's a very small niche market.
That's how I would sell it on Shark Tank, though. I'd be like, imagine hearing the best sound system ever on your iPhone for all the classic hits, and they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'd be like,
yeah, or they're gonna be like,
and Mr.
Or
Wonderful
they're gonna be like,
would
no one
chop
gives
you
a
apart.
shit about that. They're gonna go
Nobody
to the
gives a
club
shit.
anyways.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful would chop you apart. I'd love
We
to
don't
see
even
that.
like music; it just exists.
Yeah, just
We have to go to weddings sometimes, and that's where music is.
We're gonna pay $200 for a DJ at our wedding, and then we're good to go.
If you don't play the fucking chicken dance, you can go straight to hell.
Yeah.
Are those people like the richest people in the world?
Whoa.
I'm just saying, like the people on Shark Tank.
DJs?
No, the people on Shark Tank, bro.
Oh, I thought.
I mean, they got to be
Mark
up there
Cuban?
somewhere.
I know Mark Cuban is definitely like.
Yeah, he owns the Dallas Mavericks.
He was already a billionaire when they started the show. Nobody else was on that show. I'm just curious. It's like at this point they have so many investments. I would say like.
Yeah, they
I mean,
just wanted to be on
maybe
TV.
maybe a couple of them. They probably have like a few failed investments, but I mean like. They
Also,
have to
I
be
hate
like,
that show.
how much money are they making?
I think when you have that much money, you can invest in almost anything and make at least some type of a profit off of it. And if not, then just like whatever. They don't give a shit. It's like, hey, here's $1 million. Maybe we can make $10 million. Maybe we make 100,000. If we're only making 100,000, sorry, that's your problem.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. I've
Yeah.
got $1 billion left over.
I totally agree. Eat the rich.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Well, I have a feeling that this is going to be a 2-on-1 conversation, so I'm excited to avoid that.
No, they worked real hard for it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, all right. So let's talk about Jack's Be Chippy.
Okay.
And how that came into fruition.
So that's me and my buddy Sean. Like I said, we've been friends since middle school, and he was living up in Atlanta, writing for Def Jam, and he didn't want to write for them anymore. He wanted to make his own original music. So I started sending him beats, and we kind of got some things going on.
Are you allowed to say who you wrote for at all? I know he was a ghostwriter.
Honestly, he doesn't even know.
Oh, he doesn't know?
Yeah, they kept that information from him. I don't know if he's ever heard it, like, in his songs or anything like that.
A Ludacris song comes out,
Yeah,
and he's just
I
like,
wish I
fuck
knew.
yeah, it's my verse right there.
And I could be wrong. He might know a little bit, but I've asked him about it before, and he's like, no, they took it and they did their own thing with it. Def Jam was, they've got a freaking million artists on there, so it's like, okay, let's give this person that or that person that.
They put him like on a salary or something, or like how did?
Yeah,
I guess
he was making a salary. He was living up there with his brother. His brother had a house up there. And I imagine they had an office up there, but I think he wrote pretty much everything out of the house, and then all he had to do was email it. Was randomly doing shows here and there by himself, but didn't have like his friends with him and stuff. So like I said, I hit him up that one time and I was just like, hey man, we need to do some music together. And he's like, all right, cool. And like a year later, he moved back to Jacksonville. We started making beats, and J Villains, it just kind of fizzled out, you know, just like everything, life issues or whatnot.
I'm sorry, was J Villains a full band?
So J Villains was just another, it was me, my friend Vashon, and my friend Ryan. And that was it. Like, I was making the beats for them, and they were rapping over it, and we'd all three be on stage, and I would DJ it for them, kind of do background vocals and stuff, and then they're both just up there rapping their ass off. Things didn't really work out. We're still great friends with Ryan, by the way. It's just, you know, the music part of it wasn't really rolling the way we wanted it to, so we kind of were like, okay, well, me and Sean made our own songs. You know, me and Ryan also made our own songs. We had a little project. We were going to call it Ratchet and Clank, and just, you know, the video game. There's a video game called Ratchet and Clank that came out. Yeah, long ago. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, we can make Ratchet rap songs and then Clank, like, knock them on the head type thing. You know what I mean? And so that kind of did its own little thing. And then Jaxby Chippy really started, and you know, we just steadily just, like, we hang out all the time. And so I just kept sending him beats. He kept writing to them, you know, kind of started playing with Universal Green. And then we were like, okay, well, you know, let us start opening these shows and stuff. Because Daryl, lead singer of Universal Green, he, you know, he's been rapping with his brother his whole life. So it's like we kind of started doing little things with them. Like, I'm sending them beats. They're rapping over them. They're doing their own thing. And we're just trying to get it all together. So eventually we were like, well, let us open. We can have a couple little features in between the set. And then, like, I jump on with Universal Green. Sean can come on at the end of it. You know, Daryl can do his whole little thing on there. And like I said, we grew up at the beach. I've lived at the beach my whole life. I just moved over to Riverside, you know, 2 years ago. But it's like Jaxby Chippy. We just kind of stuck with it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Where'd that name come from? Was that
so
inspiration
I'm not
for
even
it?
sure how we. I mean, obviously growing up at the beach, you know what I mean. I'm not sure how we came up with just Jaxby Chippy though. It was like it was kind of like we didn't necessarily want to be, you know, like, we're not like gangster rappers. We're not, you know, but we're not like these super conscious rappers either, you know what I mean? And Jaxby Chippy, it kind of came up out of somewhere. And, you know, for a while we kind of thought, you know, it like centralizes you. It puts you in this place like where you can't get out of almost. It's like you're only playing in Jax Beach, or at the same time, like, there's a bunch of people like, oh, I'm a Jaxby Chippy, and then they see two people rapping, and they're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a time where we were thinking about just switching it to JBH, and then we're like, you know what? We've made it this far. We're just going to go for it. And so our production name, we've also got Hippie Hop Entertainment, and that was the kind of thing. It was kind of like, it's hip hop, but it's hippie hop. It's like feel good vibes,
like
you know
that.
what I mean? And I guess that's kind of where Jaxby Chippy came from. It's just, you know, we want it to be hip hop, but in the same breath, it's like, you know, I'm putting live instruments behind this stuff. We're doing these collaborations with people, and, you know, just not trying to cater to everybody, but like I said, it's not this like hardcore rap. It's not, you know, anything super, it's not mumble rap. It's not any of that stuff. It's just trying to, I don't know.
No, I listened to some of this stuff, actually. I went on the YouTube channel and was checking out some of this stuff. Did you guys do a track with or for DJ Paul or something like that?
No. So when we did that, it was a DJ Paul. So we've been listening to like 3 6 Mafia forever. Like that was
my shit.
That was Sean's shit growing up.
Yeah.
That was our shit. Like we were just turning up to 3 6.
Yeah.
Still do to this day.
I love 3 6 Mafia.
Sidebar, know where this thing. I guess someone made a fake hula flyer because 3-6 was on it.
Oh yeah, that was a few years ago.
Well, it popped back up like a week ago, and
Oh,
I'm
it
like,
did?
holy shit! I'm like 3-6 Mafia at Halloween. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's crazy to see.
Well, because they're all dead, other than like Juicy J.
Juicy J and DJ Paul.
DJ Paul's still alive. I thought he died.
No, DJ Paul's still alive, but he's like he lives out in Hollywood, and he's like just producing for the most part now.
Okay.
I think he still raps a little bit, but we saw that and we're like, holy shit! And he texted me today. He's like, bro, he's like 3-6 Mafia is not playing at Hula. I'm like, what? Did they drop out? And then I pulled it up, and the whole thing was different. And I was like, oh well, I guess. And scrolling through Facebook, I'm like, I'm not the only one that saw this because a couple people commented on it, and it's like apparently the whole thing was fake, or I guess it was from a couple years ago.
From a couple years ago. I remember seeing that. I was like, 3-6 Mafia. I was like, this isn't real.
Yeah, I thought it was so crazy because I went 2 years ago when Anderson .Paak was there, and so I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's not too far out of the thing. But Anderson .Paak is also like super chill, and he plays the drums and guitar.
He doesn't
like,
talk about getting fucked up on pills and killing people all day.
yeah, exactly. Juicy J and DJ Paul are up there sipping on some scissor. But so getting back to that track, DJ Paul did Who Run It was a beat that they did a long time ago, right? And he did a challenge, I guess, I think it was on Vine when Vine was still a thing.
Okay.
And people turned it into, like, they were just freestyling over the beat. So I was like, okay, well, we got to make it better. Like, this is the thing right now. Let's try to get a little bit of traction going. But how can we change it? Instead of just using the beat, I sampled the beat and remade it and added a bunch of other stuff to it. And then that was when I was living in Jack's Beach, and we just were like, screw it one night. GoPro video, held it myself, filming Sean, and then Sean held it when he was filming me, dropped it and edited it a little bit. And, that's one of the songs we play a lot whenever we're playing out live. Just because it's fun to, like, hey, we got any 3-6 Mafia fans in here? And, everyone our age is like, if they're not a fan, they at least know who it is.
For sure.
So yeah, that's kind of how that came into fruition. We don't have too much stuff on the internet right now, but we've got a handful of YouTube videos. We got a bunch of old songs on our SoundCloud. But what we're really doing, did you guys ever see that interview with Joe Budden and Russ?
No, I'm not that I don't know.
No,
I've seen a couple interviews with Joe Budden, but
so Joe Budden interviewed Russ. Russ is this rapper. So J. Cole went platinum with only like one feature on like I think it was a production feature a few years ago. Russ it might be different now. Someone in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Russ is the only artist that's gone platinum, and he produced and engineered all of his own stuff, right? So when they were doing that interview, one thing that Russ said, he's like, when that first song hit and people were like, oh my God, who is this guy? I need to look up his stuff. He'd been putting out music forever, and so he's got 100 different songs on. He's like, if you have one song on the internet and people are like, oh my God, this, you're one hit wonder, you listen to it, and then you go searching for them and you can't find any more music, you're going to lose interest almost
totally.
Instantly. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so that's kind of part of the reason we haven't put a lot of music online yet, is because going back to the perfection thing, we just weren't ready for it yet. But at the same breath, we're to the point now where like, okay, we've got at least 50 songs we can just drop on the internet. They're ready to go. But we want it to be ready. We want to have a few videos behind it. We want to be able to, so when we have that song that we really, put some promotion behind and stuff, and, if it gains traction or if it doesn't. But if it does, people can, they can type in, hey, Jaxby Chippy, this is the song that I heard. And then, a list of songs comes up like this. So we're just kind of working. We used to have a handful of songs on, we had a TuneCore thing, so iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And we took them down, and we were just waiting. We're like, okay, well, we're going to get all this stuff right. And then that way when we drop, it's like somebody can pull it up and it's like, okay, wow, they've actually do have a lot of stuff on here. They've been doing it for a while, and
are you guys planning on having like any features or on any of your songs?
Yeah, so we're working with our friend Ty, who just moved up to Jersey. We've got 2 or 3 songs with her. She's letting all her people know up there. We work with Daryl, so we just went on that cross-country bus trip with Daryl not too long ago.
That looked like it was amazing.
Insane, dude.
Yeah.
Insane. Apart from, being stuck on the side of the highway for 3 days and getting stuck 10,000 feet on top of a mountain at 2 o'clock in the morning. Jesus. We had a great time. I will totally do it again.
At least you had a bus to sleep in and shit,
Yeah, exactly. But we've got a little EP that we're working on with Daryl. I think we're going to call it the Bus Chronicles, 4 or 5 songs. Every video we're going to shoot is going to be on a bus adventure or, just wherever we happen to be, either in the bus or I let him park it over at my house. I got a nice big yard and a long driveway, so the city doesn't mess with anybody. My neighbors are super chill. Who else? Like I told you, we're trying to work on getting Kristen on some songs. And then just, anything really, just trying to, as many people as possible, like all the homies, anybody. Like I'd love to send you guys some tracks, and if you're into it, we went down to Dunedin not too long ago. I got some recordings from Joe and Alex and Spore. We crashed at Alex's house. I think that's really about all we got right now.
Well, I'd love to fucking do some shit, man. I'm like,
me too.
I'm like a huge hip hop fan.
Right.
So any stuff that you got like in that realm, like in that kind of vein, I would love to hop on and do some shit. Like,
Yeah.
even for guitar, anyways. I can't rap for shit. I can write some.
Well, no, dude, that's the thing. I love getting I'm a bass player. I play guitar a little bit, but I am not a good guitar player by any means. You know what I mean? When it comes to like just playing some chords or laying down links, like I can do little solos and stuff when I'm jamming, but that's about it. But I'm just totally trying to get more involved with everybody, really. You know what I mean? And that's more exposure for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
It's like you play guitar and it's like, okay, it's like we have a show. It's like, well, our homie Anton did this with us, or you come play a show with us and sit down for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long. Same with you, Billy. It's like, there's a million different things that we could do. It's like I'd love to definitely get involved with more people. Right now we're just with the Universal Green stuff going on, we're super busy, and then trying to squeeze in this Jack's Beach hippie stuff. It's tedious having full-time jobs and stuff.
Fucking tell me about it. I'm inside Hustle and Greenhouse Lounge and doing 40 hours a week, same as you. I'm not working construction, but it's still 9 to 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's still...
It's hard.
Yeah, having a day job must suck.
It's rough.
I was joking. Yeah, I did it for a long time. I juggled both for a long time, and so I totally get the grind for sure.
Right,
it's hard, man. It's definitely...
Have you ever tasted heaven in a glass? Do you pine for the hoppiest brews and palest ales? Do you like food? If so, then Wicked Barley is the oasis that your mouth has been wishing for, walking into the complete barren wasteland that is your life. Wicked Barley is located in Jacksonville, Florida, nestled on the banks of Goodbeast Creek. Wicked Barley aims to provide its guests with a wicked experience, offering over 18 house-brewed beers, ciders, and meads on tap. They also have an expansive gastropub-style food menu, including burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. Whether you are a newcomer or a craft beer connoisseur, there's a little something for everyone at Wicked Barley. Visit them at 4100 Bay Meadows Drive and tell them Bottom of the Bill sent you.
Definitely hard.
I would love to do that. I'd love to do that.
That'd be awesome. I didn't realize. You're so close to me, dude. We're
I know that's
5
true.
minutes away. That'd be awesome.
He lives just off.
I live down the street
yeah,
too.
so if you guys
I'm
live right
here.
around the corner. Like I said,
Yo, tell them exactly where I live, Bill.
I've got a whole studio room over at my house. I've got electric Yamaha 88 keys with the little bass station and Novation. I've got a DJ set up. I've got a different computer with all my production gear on there. I've got a whole PA in there. I've got a piano. I've got an organ. I've got a what's the air organ? Organ Air. I've got an Organ Air.
I don't know what that is.
It's this big. It's like, it's not very big, but it runs off. It's got reeds and it has a fan in there. So when you play it, the
almost like a
air is
melodica?
like what pushes the sound. I guess so.
It's
Yeah.
like a melodica
Except,
with
except
with
it's a
rotary
piano
in it?
setup.
Interesting.
That's fucking dope. I would love to see
Yeah.
that.
I just got this piano recently. I was nervous that it wasn't going to be in tune. Sounds great.
I'll check it out.
The organ's cool. Yeah.
Bro, let's do some shit, man. I'd
But
love
I'm
to.
down.
I'm thinking about getting a drum set over there.
Call it side hustle.
Side.
Yeah, exactly.
Side green.
But even
Side game.
well, we'll talk about that later. I was gonna say no one knows where my house is. I might have an after party after the UG show this Friday at my house. So even if you guys can't make it to the show, if you
Down the street.
can make it to the show later, or even just come over to the house if you want.
Let's
or,
fucking do it.
I haven't
have a
been
nice little jam
invited
session
to
over there, man. I've been wanting to
anything
really
for a while.
bad.
I'm down. Fucking down.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure,
yeah.
man.
I think
sounds
that
great.
I would have a blast. dude.
I had a blast hanging out with you on OBJ, going down on the. I kept on saying the buzz is the funnest fucking
Oh
part.
my
of
god,
the whole
dude.
thing.
So like I said, I'm just used to it's like me and Daryl and Sean on there. It's
Yeah.
3 of us. There was 9 of
Yeah,
us
there
on
was
the
9
bus,
people on the
dude.
bus.
I had so much fun. Like
Yeah.
even we were walking around the festival and I'm like, screw this. I'm like, I'm going back to sit on the roof of the bus.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we were right behind the main stage and you could see that little side stage, so you could hear the music great still. Just like, man, one of the funnest trips ever, dude.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Sounds
A lot
like
of
it,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time, dude.
What I actually I do want to get into a little bit about the name Cory Clawkins.
Okay.
And also we gotta talk about the St. John's River stuff as well.
The banter.
Yeah.
All right. So it all started, like I said, I was telling you guys earlier, I was talking shit about White Claws when they first came out. And it's just like, oh, White Claw tastes like St. John's River water, or I had people, dude, I had people hitting me up. I had this girl hit me up. She's like, say White Claw tastes like mermaid queefs, or dolphin farts, or White Claw tastes like I dropped my lollipop in the pool. You know what I mean? Like it turned into this whole thing, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and I'm like, all right, well, shit, I made it this far. Let me see how many things I can do. And my buddy Alan hits me up one day, and he's like, bro, why? Because my last name's Hawkins. I don't know if they found that out yet. Last name's Hawkins. He's like, bro, why isn't your last name on Facebook Clawkins? Like, it's a very good idea. I'm going to change it right now. But it's like, it all started the banter. It's internet banter. I
Yeah.
talk a lot of shit on the internet, right? And free game for anybody that's watching. Talk a bunch of shit on the internet. People on Facebook and stuff, they will respond to you. It boosts your algorithms so more people see your shit. So you talk about White Claw for 5 days and get people to interact with you, and then you say, all right, well, check this out. My band's playing on Saturday.
Totally.
Boom. Now you got more people that see it. And then I kind of ran out of stuff for White Claw. So
What did you have for White Claw? Oh, you're talking about it's like St. John's River water.
right,
Okay.
tastes like St. John's River water.
Bro,
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So how the St. John's River water started? Yes, I would
Yeah.
love another one. So
Don't. I swear to God, don't waste that shit, man. It's not fucking funny.
Don't do it.
Whatever.
So the St. John's River water. Oh, I wish he was still in here. It turned in. So me, Daryl, Sean, I think my mom, the girl I was dating at the time, we were going to Riverside Arts Market. I don't know. There was something going on, some
Yeah.
type of little festival going on. This was probably about a year and a half ago. It was just shit, probably more actually because of COVID. But we're going down there, and we parked over in 5 Points somewhere, and we're like, all right, screw it. Let's walk down to the river real quick, and we're going to smoke. So I'm like, all right, sounds great. So we're standing down there next to the river, and Daryl's like, imagine if that St. John's River water just plopped up and hit you straight on the lip. And I'm like, a lot of bad things could happen if that happened to you. And he's like, you should post about it on the internet. And I'm like, this is going to be my new internet banter. It's St. John's River water. So I think my first post, I was like,
My own.
would you rather get back together with your ex or take a shot of St. John's River water.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing. Yeah.
And it just freaking crazy spiral out of there. I'm sure I could find some stuff on my Facebook.
That shit every day. I was like looking forward to your posts about that shit.
Yeah, well,
it's
so funny, dude, because I'd run into so many people. Like, I'd go out to a show and they're like, St. John's River water or a shot of Fernet. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely
like,
St. John's River water for sure.
Yeah.
What was it that he posted today that you showed me? That Cory, sorry, we're not talking
it was a meme. There was a meme that you posted today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you.
Oh, yeah.
That.
I've always, what did I posted? What did it
Running
say?
around
It's like,
sometimes.
you know how many times I've fucked around and I still haven't found out anything?
I fucking love that meme.
Dude, it's just all, dude, I'm telling you, everything.
Cheers, by the way.
Everything that I
Billy's
post
being
on
a
the
bitch,
internet,
so.
I've got this mindset of if I can get people to respond to me, like I said, it'll help boost these algorithms, and then in a week I can say, hey, I got a show coming up, and now more people are going to see that show coming up, but more people are going to be a lot more interested in chatting with it, because it's like I might say like, hey, I've got a show on Friday, but it's going to be like, I got a show, free St. John's River water shots for the first 10 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing I ever dabbled in with that was because I started posting pictures of me eating a sandwich on Facebook. Do you remember that?
Yeah. The
and then
roast beef
that's
sandwiches.
all that anybody fucking cared about. Any post
At
was
every
like, "Where's
gig.
your sandwich? Where's your sandwich?" I posted.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I posted a picture because I was just like, the caption was, "Here, we're gonna go live at 9:00. Come see me eat this sandwich live
Yeah.
on stage."
Shit like
Because
that.
because it was like, why are we fucking promoting this
It
shit?
was
No one's
the-
ever gonna come
yeah.
out. It was just a cover show, by the way. It wasn't a side hustle. or
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
But then.
But
like,
it brought people.
You're right.
They're like, oh my god, he's really gonna eat a sandwich.
well. It never brought anybody, but what I kept on doing was just like, I'm just gonna bring sandwiches to all these shows, and then just I'll have pictures like eating a sandwich and hanging out with a dead face. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
I think in between
I'm
my
gonna bring that back. I forgot about that.
I think in
back.
between my White Claw banter and my St. John's River water banner, I love tomatoes, and I would just post pictures of tomatoes, and people were eating it up, dude. Like I would slice some tomatoes and just eat them with salt and pepper, and people were like, "Oh my god, I love tomatoes." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." That's why I'm eating these tomatoes right now. By the way, come see my band play on Saturday.
Bro, you know what you should have done today is that you should have walked in with a bag of tomatoes, a bottle of St. John's River water, and
case
all
of
your
White
fucking White
Claws,
Claws.
dude.
Yeah. That
For the
should've
record,
been-
there's a White Claw in that refrigerator.
Where-
For the record, I'm just taking.
Bill, grab that White Claw while you're at it.
Yeah,
bro.
let's get after it.
Let's get. Bro, that's too fucking funny, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to like every single day. I would be like, okay, what's he posting today? What's he posting today?
Yeah,
I used
so-
to love those fucking
So
things.
I'm trying to figure out my next muse because I'm not sure. I started on something recently and just ran out of ideas too quick. So I was just like, whatever.
Well,
Clawkins, right?
there's
Yeah. I might shotgun this later.
or you could do it now on camera.
Well, I might still do it on camera, but I kind of got a stomach full of whiskey right now, so I might have to use a little restroom
Probably.
break here in a second.
Probably a good call. That happens to
before
most
I do
people.
a shotgun of that White Claw, because I'm sure I'll drink more at band practice as well.
Yeah, man, that shit. It's a really good technique though, for sure. You should bring back the St. John's River water thing.
I know. I got to figure out something now, man. I got to this or that or St. John's River water. Unpopular opinions. St. John's River water version.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, speaking of unpopular opinions, we should hit unpopular opinions.
Lord.
Are you ready,
Okay.
Bill?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
Sorry.
there we go. For those who aren't watching this and just listening, Bill was just not prepared for the question.
I was
guess.
making a drink, but I'm always prepared for questions.
I offered to make you a drink, and you refused it. I don't get it, but why'd you refuse a drink, Bill?
Because every time that you make me a drink, you waste so much bourbon.
No, I don't
pour
Do
a-
waste it.
you drink it still though?
I have to because
So is it really being wasted?
That's what I'm saying.
born,
This guy's
born and
a-
raised in Kentucky.
guy's a
I'm not
bottle-
gonna waste bourbon, but you just poured me like 6 shots of bourbon.
Yeah, this
and
guy's
and
a.
the thing with ice and then like a tiny little taste
So what
of
do you?
Coca-Cola,
What's your
so it tastes
percentage
bad.
down here? You like a 50-50 guy?
No,
60-40?
Billy's like a 1585 kind of guy, you know.
85 Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola and 15%.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
fucking drink this motherfucker
He's
under
just-
the table, and he knows that.
Oh, well, let's
But,
be
well,
honest,
it's not
though,
a
right?
competition. I'm just curious. Okay.
But
No,
I'm
he
just
gets a
saying,
little
it's fit-
sensitive about it, though,
it's
obviously.
50-50.
It's 50-50. Get
Well,
out of
raised
here.
in Kentucky, of course
15
I'm not gonna waste bourbon.
Well, it's not a waste if you drink it, bro, is all I'm saying.
Why'd you leave Kentucky?
Oh wow! Have I said
This is a good
on
question.
camera?
No, you haven't. Let's get into it. It's a good story.
Oh man, I don't know if I should say this.
Just
but
say it.
You don't have to.
No, let's
I
talk
moved down
about
here
it.
when I was 15. I went to Providence actually. How old are you?
31.
I'm 32. So
Okay.
you're 89 as well.
Yep,
Oh, wow.
89
So 07.
September.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that's we're all
89.
same age. That's weird.
Hey, guys. We're all here.
But yeah. Anyways, I moved down here when I was 15. I really should say it. My dad.
Say it.
My dad was going through a lot of financial hardships. He had owned a construction company, and basically he burned down my house for insurance money, and then we moved down here. He got away with it, or at least
Till now.
I mean, like, there's no proof.
Edit this part out.
Yeah,
Statute of limitations. You're good.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I
there you
think
go.
That's a felony. Like, there's no statute of limitations on that. But anyways, so then we moved down here. He filed bankruptcy, and then now I live here.
All right. Well, that was a faster story than I expected.
Yeah, I realized like I got all nervous when I was like on camera about it. I'm like, probably shouldn't be saying that.
No, you're good. It's fine. Nobody cares. All right. So unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's why I live down here. But I went to Providence. You went to Fletcher then. Right?
Yeah, I went to Fletcher. Yep.
But you 07, so you probably know Joe Bow then.
Joe Bow.
Joe Bowater?
Maybe. I don't know.
I
I was
forget-
supposed to
I'll
be
be
08. I got out. So I dropped out in 07, went to FCCJ, got my GED, but I got good scores on my the FCATs, the state tests that they have here. So they ended up giving me a high school diploma anyways.
Nice.
So I got out of school a year early.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
because I was,
Fucking Fletcher,
bro.
dude. It's the
I was,
easiest school on the
dude. I
planet.
used to skip school every fucking day, dude. I remember the last day I told my mom, I'm like, I'm skipping school. I'm like, I don't know. You're going to work. Like, I don't want to be here anymore, right? And she calls me at 2:00 one day. She's like, I'm at the school. I'm trying to sign you out so you don't have to go here anymore, but you're not in class. I'm like, fuck, Mom. I'm like, I'm high as shit over at my friend's house right now. What? She's like, if you come back to the school, I will sign you out and you never have to come back here. And I'm like, all right.
sounds like a
It
trap.
registered. I know it sounded like a trap. It's so bad. I'm like, well, I'm on my way. And I remember she signed me out, and the guidance counselor was like, that most students who do this never do anything with their lives. I was like, geez, that's a little morbid, but okay, all right.
I'm gonna be a musician.
Yeah. Still haven't done anything with my life. I got that stimulus check though. Just kidding. I didn't get a
You
stimulus
know what?
check.
How big of a joke Fletcher is? I snuck in and went to a whole day of school at Fletcher.
I totally believe that.
It was ridiculous.
Public school in general. It's a public school, right?
Oh, yeah.
Public
Yeah.
school in general is just a joke across the board.
I guess so.
It just really is because I went to public school also, and the school that I went to had a D rating, and I basically skipped school like from 10th grade to 11th grade. I just wasn't really showing up that much.
Yeah.
And then 12th grade year, I got a new set of friends, and they were all like going to college and gonna they were all getting really good grades, AP program kind of shit. But then they were also like partying pretty hard too. So it's okay. These are good people to know. And then I tried really hard senior year. And all of my teachers that saw that I started like trying hard just gave me passing grades even though I was failing. So there was like, I was just like, okay, so my GPA starting out senior year was a 1.5. I got it up to like a 2 point something and graduated. Public school is a complete joke.
Yeah, I think so. That was. I remember the last year before I dropped out. There was too many kids at the school, so it's like they would switch you into classes. They brought a bunch of pods in to put behind the gym and stuff. But I remember that first like semester that I was there, I had like a 3-point-something GPA. I was doing great. I liked my teachers. Everything was good. And then they moved me into these classes with a bunch of kids I didn't like. The teachers were shit, and I was just like, fuck this. Like,
Done.
I'm gonna go smoke weed at my friend's house instead. I do not want to be here. And then, finally my mom was like, all right, fine, I'll take you out. And then I graduated a year early, and she's like, wow, that was actually pretty cool. And then I moved out.
Oh, man, I just got that story. I just got a new unpopular opinion. I'm changing one of mine.
Well, I guess I'll start mine. So, like I said, we both say 3, and then you have the last one. So you're icing on the cake.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Here's my first one, and I was really, like, reaching today because I was like, oh, shit, we have a podcast.
I wish you would have texted me that last night. I would have came up with a
No, I don't.
good.
No, we don't.
I forgot that you guys do unpopular
We wait till this.
opinions.
We gotta put you on the spot. We don't want you to be thinking about it.
Okay,
all day.
that's fair.
All right.
Even though we get to think about it.
Well, we get to think about it, but we don't want you to.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, I'm
fucking
telling
sadistic.
everybody on
Yeah,
my Facebook.
By the way, if you're a guest on Bottom of the Bill,
Yeah.
be prepared with
Be
unpopular
prepared.
opinions.
All right. Well, my first one is Larry's Giant Subs makes the best Cuban sandwich in Jack's.
And Jack's.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Well, because they
No,
have,
seriously, I've been looking for a good Cuban, bro.
No, it's not good, bro. Stop
It
it.
is.
Stop. Stop.
No,
Stop. Don't
they
do
make
this,
the
though,
Cuban
right?
bread, though. They
No,
make-
they
they-
don't.
No,
They
I'm
get
sorry,
imported from Tampa.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Which
meant-
is like already a joke, right? Because Tampa has a fraction of the Cuban population that we do down south.
What?
So it's like, I'm
What
just
do you mean?
saying. Like,
in southern Florida.
in South Florida.
What do you mean?
Okay, don't get me fucking started on Cuban
All right.
sandwiches, bro. I'm just saying. Okay, this guy's getting me worked up right now.
Well, can I say one
That is
thing
gonna
about
be a good one.
Cubans real quick?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm
So
Cuban, so,
mellow,
be careful.
Like fuck
No,
them, right?
not Cuban. The humans.
Oh, Cuban sandwich. Okay.
Cuban sandwiches.
Not Cubans, humans.
Yeah, sorry, I should have specified that.
That's a good band name.
So the
Cubans
mellow
and
mushroom, the mellow mushroom in Avondale has
Yeah.
a Cuban pizza.
Oh, they do?
Whoa.
Was like pickles and mustard and shit?
So
I hate pickles.
That's
there,
gross.
There is, but I get the
There
pickles
is.
replaced with jalapenos and banana peppers.
That sounds better.
Dude, it's incredible.
Really?
Try that
It's
out.
really good.
So
might try that
cheese,
tonight.
ham.
Double
Cheese, ham, pulled pork. They do mayonnaise and mustard, and then instead of
Mayonnaise.
pickles, they just do a swirl.
It's a Cuban
not
sandwich,
like
bro.
a whole
mayonnaise
freaking
and
thing.
mustard on a pizza.
Yeah,
Though. What's
well-
the sauce that they use?
Oh, do they put it? I'm not sure if they put a sauce.
If they put
on
a
it
sauce
or not.
on there, shame on them.
Just
I
butter.
think
Just
I'm pretty
butter,
sure-
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just butter on the crust, and then they do like a swirl of mayonnaise and mustard on the
sounds
top.
good. I'd
try,
eat that.
I'll try a slice, but that's not
Dude.
pizza.
No, it's
I'm
not
telling
pizza.
You can't put mustard
I
on
was
pizza.
really confused when I saw it. I'm like, man, I've been looking for a good Cuban in Jacksonville for a long time. Can't find them
I
anywhere.
found one.
No,
I've
you
actually-
didn't. No.
No,
I,
it's you.
I
Nope.
talked to these people about, I guess, there's
A
this
Cuban
place on
human.
Bay Meadows that I can't think of the name of right now that apparently has a really good Cuban, but I went to Mello and I saw that and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And I asked the bartender and he's like, no pickles, banana peppers and jalapenos. It's really good.
I'll
I've
try
got
it.
it, 3 or 4 times now. It's awesome.
Nice. I want to try that.
The
And,
one-
well, they got that good ass crust. Yeah, the
Avondale.
Avondale
The one the
by Monty's and Peterbrook.
yeah.
and
I know exactly because we play there.
We used to
Remember
play
we
there.
got Yelled at.
Billy, one time we played it. We were playing there one night, and fucking Billy, for the first time ever, sings a song in public. He's never sang a song in public before.
Yeah.
This lady walks up to him and just goes boo right in his
God,
face,
dude.
and then
What'd you say?
No,
I was just like, okay.
no, but this gets it better. She proceeds to walk back to the bar, sits down, and pisses herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
She was very drunk.
and Avondale's supposed to be the
Oh.
classy side of Riverside. I'm just saying.
No, that's that old. She had old money and dementia. It sounds like.
She had the most white trash name too, and I can't
Oh
remember
my
what it was.
I can't remember what her name
It
was.
was like Calissa or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Okay,
Sorry
but
for your
let's just be honest though for a second though, right? It's like Larry's Giant Subs Cubans are terrible. That when I first moved
This is
here,
an unpopular opinion. That's one unpopular opinion.
when I first moved here, I went to Larry's Giant Subs and I was like, "Oh, you guys have a Cuban sandwich? I don't even like Cuban sandwiches. I was like, I'll give it a shot." And because they boasted the best Cuban sandwiches, and I was
They promote that they have the best Cuban.
It's-
they
great.
didn't even fucking press the bread, bro. I don't even know
Oh
what
my
to
goodness.
It's like
Where'd you go?
to the one in Orange Park.
Well, I went to one at 5 Points. They were great.
Oh, is it different?
I guess
It's the
so.
same. It's a fucking chain
Do they press the
restaurant,
bread?
bro.
They pressed it so good.
Oh, they
dude.
pressed it. Maybe
Yeah.
they fucked up at
It's
this one. Then I
flat
don't
as
know.
Shit.
It's flat as shit. They put butter on the top
They
too, and then
straight
press it.
Smushed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I don't believe you.
Fucking go try one, bud.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, that's a
All right.
private opinion. Apparently,
I knew
Anyways,
it was her because I had said the word Cuban and
no. Well, because you said that Larry's Giant Subs has the best Cuban sandwich you've ever had. That's fucking wild to me.
I said it to just to piss you.
Yeah, well, it fucking worked, bro. You fucking got me going over here. Jesus Christ.
Don't really have the best coffee. I don't really know. There you go.
Okay. Oh, Lord. There's this meme. It was like why it's like just like a picture of a little like colada. It's like why meth never took off in Miami. It's just like so fucking true.
I saw this thing. It was not the same meme, but it was like, man, Colombians got it figured out. Between cocaine and coffee, they do not sleep down there.
That's so true, bro. All right, so my first unpopular opinion is if being a musician is living the dream, someone needs to wake my ass up.
That's pretty funny. I don't know, man.
Popular amongst musicians.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm telling you, I felt like I was just like so fucking depressed for the past year and a half and didn't really like realize it, and then just went to the fucking OBJ and I'm just like so happy now. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I do.
Dude, I feel the exact same way. No, dude, it's like we opened up for Newfound Glory recently at the Jack's River Jams, and I think we had like one more show. I can't even completely slip in my brain right now because I'm thinking about OBJ and going back down to Dunedin. But man, just being able to play music again for a crowd, and it's like it felt absolutely incredible. And even just going down with you guys, dude, I think I had more fun because I didn't have to play, so I knew I didn't have to worry about shit.
Oh yeah,
Daryl told me I got to. He's like, we're not leaving until like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you're telling me I get to party until 5 o'clock in the morning and see my favorite bands all play, and we're all riding on the bus together now.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Like, absolutely incredible.
So definitely unpopular because I felt the same way as you, and then I got a little taste of it again. I'm like, oh, that's why I do it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things on my plate at the moment when it comes to all this album release shit that I'm just like, this is not what I signed up for. You know what I mean? So that's why I said that. But anyways, what's your second one?
Oh, hang on. I forgot. I thought you were going to do another one for some reason. This is great. Skrillex is one of the most influential artists in the past 20 years.
That actually might be true.
It is true.
It's unfortunate, but it might be true though.
That's fucked up.
It's unfortunate.
That's such a good one. Hey, we gotta talk about it.
So let's talk about.
Is this
what was his band before Skrillex?
From First to Last.
Yeah, but let's talk about when he came out, or when he became like more mainstream. Okay.
2009.
Yeah, let's talk about like the period of 2009 to like 2012, where every drummer just decided to have a fucking dubstep side project.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like
he like okay. What I always remember more than anything is that during the Grammy nights, he was getting tired of going up to the stage because he won 9 in a row.
Yeah, it must be fucking exhausting,
Grammys.
bro.
All I'm trying to say is like he fucking opened the floodgates of this music.
Yeah.
Like, name another musician? I'll maybe give you Kanye, but he didn't do that much.
Well, that's not true.
He just did. He kept on perpetuating hip hop and everything like that. He didn't start like a whole fucking new thing.
That's true. Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is, can you name anybody more influential?
No, I agree with you. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah,
unfortunate and unpopular.
Hey, he's freaking playing at Hulu
fucking
this year.
Halloween. I can't wait to go see him. It's been a while.
I actually like some music that incorporates aspects of dubstep into it, but I also liked
not Greenhouse.
Who fucking likes them?
But I also liked dubstep before it was what Skrillex made it, where it was like this more kind of electronic dub music.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, okay, this is dope. Like if you like, like Slightly Stupid or like Stick Figure or something like that, then you can get behind this. It's got like some cool like weird effects going on. It's super mellow, but like kind of reggae kind of thing. And then Skrillex came along and was like, oh, we're just going to make polyrhythms and weird wompy sounds. And now this is dubstep.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, okay.
I remember one of his big songs when I used to live with this guy. It was huge, like Skrillex, all kinds of dubstep fan. But Skrillex has a song with Damian Marley. And I remember it was because it was like, it's super chill. It's like, it sounds like a reggae song with some electronic stuff behind it, kind of more modern than, what you'd hear coming out of the islands. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and it's like, dude, just Folks, yes. Are we clipping?
Don't worry about it. I edited it in post. What I'm really excited about is because I don't want to say. I mean, he was a fad, right? Like big time. Like he got super popular, and then nothing.
Yeah, he
for
was
a
a
while.
fad, but also created like a niche market for
I'm
himself.
just saying,
Yeah,
but
for
Skrillex
sure.
himself was a fad. I think it's been long enough. It's been 12 years since he came out with like Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, whatever they're called. And going to Halloween now, it's just gonna be like reminiscing.
It's gonna
be going to like a throwback.
They're
street
just-
show.
It is going to be an absolute shit show. I was just talking the other day. Florida's opened back up. People they forgot how to act.
Oh yeah.
No one knows how to act.
Oh well,
right now.
let's not pretend they knew how to act before though,
Well,
right?
yeah.
I mean, like,
it's just
let's be honest.
It's
It's worse
everyone's
now.
going way harder now.
So I feel like they put Skrillex in because like bass nectar's not allowed to play anywhere anymore.
Yeah, 'cause
so
he
it was
got
like here's
canceled.
Skrillex and we're just gonna get all the bass heads that were like coming around before.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably definitely a huge market.
Yeah.
over there,
No,
especially
it
for
is. I get
for
it.
Halloween.
I'm
I'm
just saying.
not saying anything bad about him at all. Like I'm like literally like very excited to go see him.
I wish
Yeah.
3-6 was playing though.
I don't
That'd
really
be
listen to Skrillex all the time. I think it's crazy that he's got 9 Grammys. Beethoven has 0.
No, what's the what's the
Give
what-
a posthumous Grammy to him.
But
you know
he
what I
did
mean?
do
He
that.
was deaf.
What was that album he did with the God damn it,
Oh,
man.
with the Doors.
No, man.
Do you remember that when he went down to California and recorded
Lindsey Sterling.
from
Oh,
the
violinist.
Mag?
No, Lindsey Sterling's
No,
a
like
violinist.
Buckingham. You're doing Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, sorry.
No, she's a violinist, yeah. And he did this like album with her that was like classical music with like dubstep. It was
Oh,
pretty dope, actually.
So I've seen a lot of her stuff. I didn't know he was producing behind it.
I didn't know he was producing all of her stuff. I thought he was just doing that one album with her.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, that's
But that
super
came out
cool.
that came out like 10 years ago though.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. I mean, there was some
It
really
was.
cool
She's
stuff.
she's just shredding the violin. I remember this one specific video. She's like in this ice
Yeah,
cavern,
yeah.
just shredding. But it's like she's just, it's this beautiful violin, and then all of a sudden you get these womp womps behind it. But it's
But
very
it works.
tasteful.
Yeah, it works. It works really well.
We just think of like the most influential person like in the 70s, like maybe David Bowie or
Led
like
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin or something like that, and then it's just like
Pink Floyd.
in the past 20 years, without a doubt, that's the most influential person. That's my unpopular.
Well,
opinion.
yeah, I would still say I'd probably give it more to Kanye than him, just in the sense where like Kanye has the staying power that Skrillex doesn't really have on the mainstream level.
That's the other thing too.
No.
What does he fucking come out with in fucking 12 years?
I know my unpopular opinion now.
Oh, here
I
we
think
go.
It's gonna
Hold-
get
hold
under
on.
your skin.
Hold on.
Maybe
on to it.
I'm actually not a Kanye fan, so
Oh, sounds like it.
What?
I'm a fan of Kanye.
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, well, then that's one of my
He's a
unpopular
genius.
opinions. I'm not saying that
Gay
he's not a
fetish.
genius. I'm just saying I've never heard anything by him where I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking like he's the greatest ever. You know what I mean? But hold on. So before we get to all that, but my second unpopular opinion
Oh yeah. Taking a
is
sweet ass
dishwashers are overrated.
I haven't had a dishwasher since I think 2007.
I haven't had a dishwasher in a long time, and I really want one again.
I do too, but it's been so long that I'm just like I kind of just used to it.
So the place I just moved into doesn't have a dishwasher. It's my first time not having a dishwasher ever.
Poor thing.
And and I don't. It's not really like that big of an issue, honestly. It's use clean shit as you're making it.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
it's definitely not. That's the way to go. It's just clean it as you're doing it. But man, it's been 4 or 5 years I think now since I've had a dishwasher. I would love to have another
yeah,
one,
me too, man. Yeah, this is a very unpopular opinion because like the best part about dishwasher is like you have dirty dishes and you kind of just like rinse it off in your fucking sink and then
You
you just
put
don't
'em
leave
in
it in
there.
the sink anymore. You just put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And it's just a
Right.
That's
Like
pretty much.
it used to be like you rinse it off and the dishwasher wouldn't clean that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now like the quality is really good, and it's
I don't
like
know.
screw it. Oh, I've also thought of it. It's like the last place I did have a dishwasher, however many years ago. It's like if it didn't clean them the first time, run it again.
Run it again. Yeah.
Yeah,
shit like
you
that,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Waste a lot of money and water and energy doing that though.
Not as much as you think.
Billy like looks at
Yeah.
Billy actually
it
like
also
reads
saves
his
a
bill
bunch
at
of
the end of the
energy
month.
in my body.
Yeah. Most of all
Yeah.
of the large appliances in your house have energy savers on it that use like a fraction of the wattage that they used to 10 years ago.
You probably just go line by line on that JEA bill, and then you just fucking call them whenever. Like, I didn't use my fucking sink for this long on Saturday, the 13th of last month.
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking.
Who
why are you
doesn't
turning-
do that?
Yeah,
Who
who doesn't do
that?
Sounds like my Friday night. You know what I'm saying?
Was that Rory Scovel joke?
No,
So you
that's-
get like fucking. So you get in. He's like, you get 6 songs deep into a Matchbox 20 album, and it's like you like come back to. You're like, oh my god, you're ruining Friday.
That's pretty good.
All right. All right. This is my turn now.
Yeah.
This is gonna flow like a lead balloon. Children are more important than your gun rights. Any comment on that one?
Yeah, they're not the same. Like, it's like they're unrelated subjects. It's like
Absolutely.
plastic bags
Children
are more important than fucking
Just
dogs.
Say,
I
just
don't
say
know.
children are more
The
important
fuck?
than your gun rights.
I think so. I will say.
I don't
I'm not a big gun owner. Don't get me wrong. I've got my granddad. He was like president of the Rifle Association on the North Side. Like, both of my granddads were military. Like, I definitely have a couple guns, but I've also got friends that have like 30 guns.
Yeah. I'm all about it.
I don't.
That's fine, too.
I don't
That's
like
fine,
gun-
too,
I
but-
I actually don't own a gun, and I'm terrified of guns because my dad's like super anti-gun, and
Right.
I never grew up with like understanding how to respect them and use them. But I definitely believe that. I mean, if you want to have like 50 assault weapons, I don't care. You're right, but whatever, man. It's like I'm also not going to get into like my politics.
That's not really what I said, though.
Right.
Is it?
But you're trying to.
Just trying to say. I mean, do
Sh-
you agree with that, or do you not agree with that?
See,
that
this is
children.
this is what
that
you got-
young children are more important than your gun rights.
Why does it have to
say
be one or
yes
the
or
other?
no. That's all
why
we
does it have
wanna
to be
know.
one or the other? Because I know what you're doing, though, right? So it's like.
What do you mean?
So it's like, why does it have to be one or the other? Like, why can't they both be like things?
Oh, they're both important. So then
Okay,
no is
let's-
the answer.
that's not what I
Double
said.
negative is a positive.
See,
is
because
what
you're
trying to
posing
get
a
at?
bullshit question is what you're doing. That's a bullshit question.
That's just an
It's
unpopular.
like
I guess I didn't realize how unpopular that opinion was. But apparently, he's totally fine with that.
No, that. there was you didn't present a situation. You just made this arbitrary statement,
Yeah, it's
and
an
then
unpo- it's
asked
an
me,
unpopular opinion.
and then asked. No, you made an arbitrary statement and asked me to have an opinion on it, and I was like, these two things are like mutual. They don't exist together. I don't
feel like I
understand.
made all of these opinions about you.
Yeah, you did.
Fuck
Well,
it.
duh.
Because
This is weird.
that's how much that's how under like that's how under your skin I get. Is that you have to like form all your opinions around shit that I say.
I feel like
off
it's-
camera.
See, so this is kind of like what I do on the internet. I try to piss somebody off in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
So they'll comment on my shit so I can tell them my band's playing this Friday. I feel like that's kind of what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's like he knows
It's friendly
gonna
banter.
get under your skin, just
It's-
like you said. But it's
Well,
all
because-
it's all fun and
But we
games.
also-
Oh yeah, totally. But it's also like a completely bullshit question.
Yeah.
This isn't like Larry's Giant Subs has the best Cuban sandwiches. That's obviously
I was
ridiculous.
warming them up for
Yeah,
this question.
This is
I
like
can't wait to hear this last one.
This
Anton's
is
got.
obviously like that's a bullshit question. That's all I'm saying.
It's not even.
Anyways,
a question,
my
it's just a
last.
statement that I believe in.
No.
That children are more important than your gun rights.
Children are
Correct.
It's like they're
can't
just not
say it.
related
This is
things.
hilarious.
I mean, there's
They're
some
just-
badass kids out there, but they're definitely more important to be alive.
I agree as well.
But I don't understand why gun rights. Like, where's gun rights come into play at all on that? Because what you're trying to say is that if
I'm
people
sorry,
own
is
guns,
this-
the
is this
children
in a-
die. Is that what you're saying?
Is this unpopular
Is-
well,
statements?
is the framing-
Is this unpopular
No.
questions?
I'm just curious
No,
to
it's
know.
unpopular
Is the premise that
just
you're
what I have.
posing that if gun rights exist, that children die? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that
If there were
that children
stricter
are more
gun rights.
important than gun rights.
So what are you trying to say?
That I just said it like 20 times, but you won't. You can't say that. Can
It's
you?
just like it's it's like a crazy thing to say, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. Is all I'm
Anyways,
saying.
PR nightmare. Anton.
No,
will
it's
bloom
like it's
everybody.
yeah.
There we go.
Anyways, my last unpopular opinion is that weed is definitely a gateway drug.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, like, you can try to fucking cover it. Like, obviously, weed's not going to do anything to you and, like, ruin your life, but...
Yeah, but let's be honest. I smoked weed for the first time, and I was like, you mean there's other drugs that make me feel different ways? Yeah. I'm down.
That's exactly what happened.
So, how about this, though? Like, I don't know about you guys. I started smoking weed when I was at, like, 15, 16
I was 14,
years old. Yeah. And it wasn't really a gateway drug, and, you know, whatever. Things happen when you get older.
Sure.
But how would you feel like you think someone that's never smoked weed in their life, say they're 30 years old and they're like, I'm going to try this. You think it's going to have the same type of effect?
That's
like,
a good point.
That's a good
I
question.
can go to the
Question.
dispensary and get some weed and go home and do whatever I want. Now I want something stronger. Like, you think that's going?
Probably not when you're that age, but I feel like most people that smoke weed probably started when they were younger because of the curiosity. And I think that, you know, like for me, I started smoking when I was 14, and then it was like immediately, like I was like completely anti-drug, all this shit. And then like the girlfriend that I had at the time, she smoked weed and I tried it, and I was like, oh wait, so there's like other ways to feel besides just being sober. And then I was like, okay, well, I wanted like immediately just when I was like, let's try Xanax, let's try cocaine. When I was 15, I was like doing like coke and Xanax and Adderall and fucking all of it.
Dumb shit in high school myself.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't try smoking weed first. Like that stuff would have never gone into my brain.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to meet somebody who's like, no, I just fucking skipped weed.
Yeah,
And
that's
just went straight to heroin.
just doing fucking rails off dicks.
Well, so I guess we were no, not doing any rails off any dicks.
Okay.
Well, I think we were talking about it at OBJ. Like,
I wasn't part of it.
The kids in high school now, not talking about rail and dicks, talking about smoking weed and OBJ. Like the new, like the high school kids, what is it, Gen Z kids, like they don't want to smoke weed anymore, and it's like it's legal, it's easy, you can just get it, it's a normal thing now. So it's like,
so what's the cool
kids
thing
aren't
now?
smoking weed because
doing
like
Tide Pods.
we're smoking weed, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. So it's like, are they like, are kids being sober? Are they getting into other?
I actually think it's kind of like a bigger
things?
movement.
Is getting sober?
Yeah, I think that it's actually like it's
Good
more
timing.
it's become more popular now, I think, to be, I don't know if sober is the right word, but just like just to maintain a healthier lifestyle. I feel like people, that's like more of the trend now. Whereas think about when we were in high school, it was like, it was not cool to get good grades. It wasn't cool to like be healthy. It was like you were kind of like a fucking joke. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
And then
that makes a lot of sense.
And nowadays it's like, because our generation was so like anti that, the next generation's obviously like, well, fuck you. We're gonna like, we want to be like healthy, and we want to.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the new 21 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when they go back to high school and everything like that. They're
Yeah.
like, you don't respect the environment, bro?
Yeah.
No, it's like, that's gay. And they're like, we don't say that anymore.
Yeah.
I was like,
And that movie came out like fucking almost 10 years ago.
Oh, I know.
Which is wild, because that's when we were that age, like 21 years old, you know?
Yeah, but I shamefully admit that I was still that way, 100%.
You were what way? Like, you were like, you don't respect the environment?
Not PC.
You were not PC. Oh, yeah,
No.
of course.
No, I don't think anyone our age was PC 10 years ago.
Not at all.
But PC was different. It wasn't we weren't PC. It's just like it meant something different for our generation than it did for this new one. And the same thing. Like my dad still says shit that I'm just like, okay, like I get that was
like, dude,
PC
you
in your
can't say
generation.
that,
Yeah, it's and not even that you can't say. It just might be like, that's a little tone deaf now, right? Where it's like when you were growing up, that was probably the progressive thing to say. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just.
I feel like the bar was set at the Chappelle show, and like whatever was on there, that was it.
No.
You don't think so?
Not at all. That show couldn't exist today.
No, yeah, no. I mean,
No.
like back in high school, when we were in high school, that was like whatever he was saying. That was
Hey,
like,
the guy, you don't drop that cake.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like you can't say half that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say. Yeah, for sure.
Anyways.
That's my last unpopular opinion.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
Guess it's my turn now.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
All right. Here's my unpopular opinion. Lil Wayne is the best rapper alive.
Oh God, are you fucking kidding me? Did you see the halftime show that he did at the championship college football game?
No.
It was the worst fucking lineup. It was Lil Wayne and Imagine Dragons at the same time. Ooh. And he came out and
he was
like
playing while like they were playing,
he was playing
music
guitar.
and he rapped over the top of it. Oh, he was playing
he
guitar.
He played guitar on it, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing those white pants or whatever.
I didn't say he's the best guitar player.
He was wearing these red galoshes, rain boots, and he was just really fucked up. But like Lil Wayne now, or like Lil Wayne back in like 2005.
I don't give a fuck
Both.
what generation you're talking about. Lil Wayne has never and will never be the greatest rapper alive.
Carter
Are
3
you
is pretty
kidding me
good,
right
bud.
now? Look at.
He said it a million times.
That's why it is what it is, because also Kanye said that he was the greatest also, and it was like and it
Lil
became
Wayne
that.
will wrap circles around Kanye
For sure.
About
Because
nothing,
Kanye's
though.
no.
He doesn't make any sense when he
Look,
raps.
I don't know,
it's
man.
It's not that.
I don't
It's
know.
not that. It's not that Lil Wayne was bad. It's the fact that people made him to be like the best rapper of all time. It's like, bro, like you can't sit you like Mos Def and Talib Kweli don't get to exist, and then you call Lil Wayne the best rapper of all time. Let's just be honest about it for a
Who do you
second.
think the best rapper of all time is?
I don't know. Like that's an impossible question to answer.
50 Cent.
But I would. You know what?
Why are you laughing?
You know what? I would.
You can find me in the club
Yeah.
You
listening to 50 Cent
Yeah.
and Lil Wayne.
It's equally because that's what it is, though, right?
Yeah.
It is that. It's like Lil Wayne and 50 Cent are the same caliber rapper. It's like neither one of their flows are that amazing.
Who you think has more money?
Oh, definitely 50 Cent, because he invested in vitamin water and
Well,
was
he's
like,
also got what's that show he has? He's got a show on Stars. Power, I think, is what it's called.
oh yeah. Well, I think it was a movie though, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it. I'm honestly not gonna lie, never watched it because I just didn't have the channel. But I thought it was a whole thing. It was like this week on Power.
Oh, it might be a series. It might be,
I
yeah.
thought it was a series.
Yeah, I know he had Get Rich or Die Trying.
The
one
movie
of
also.
the best movies ever made.
Okay, yeah.
He got shot 9 times.
He did
dude.
get shot
How many
9
How many
times.
times did Lil Wayne get shot?
Once actually, he actually
Yeah,
shot himself.
definitely more than once.
It was he shot himself.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's no street cred if you shoot yourself.
Look at if we're talking about Lil Wayne in like the Hot Boys era. I'll grant you, like I like Lil Wayne at that time. Was he the best rapper at that time? Absolutely not. He was a really I mean, we don't have to go as deep as like Mos Def and Talib Kweli. We could just go to like we could go to Outkast and talk about like Andre 3000 and Big Boy and talk about like how innovative they were in what they were doing at the time, especially in the early 90s when Southern Playlistic Cadillac music came out. Mm-hmm. But like Lil Wayne, it's like I liked the Carter stuff that he was doing. I thought it was really
Carter
good.
3 was good. That's all I remember.
Like every the Carter was good.
Yeah.
504 Boys. Have you guys listened to any of his? He's definitely got new stuff still coming out.
I'm sure he does.
That's what I want
He
to
doesn't
ask
stop.
you. Like, why do you think he's the best of all time?
That's a good question.
Bro, he's been nonstop. Name a rapper that's been doing it as long. I mean, there's a few.
Eminem.
Okay. Eminem's been doing it as long as he has.
50 Cent.
50 Cent
no.
has not been doing
not
it
as long.
Lil Wayne started rapping when he's like 16 years
16,
old.
yep.
Yang Yang Twins.
And just, crushing.
How about
doing
Outkast,
things.
Andre 3000, and Big Boy?
I mean, I love those guys.
They're
I love
still putting
those
stuff
guys
out.
too, but that's not an
They are?
unpopular opinion.
No.
Andre's not putting out music. Big Boy is.
So are you saying that the only reason why you're saying that Lil Wayne's the best rapper of all time is because it's an unpopular opinion? Is that actually your opinion?
No, I really like Lil Wayne. I listen to Lil Wayne all the time.
That's fine. I like Lil Wayne too. Do you actually think he's the best rapper of all time?
Yeah, you just said it.
Yep.
No. And
Yep.
are you saying it
This
because
is
you
not
mean it?
facetious.
Are you saying because you mean it or because you're just trying to make an unpopular opinion?
No, I mean it now.
You mean it.
I mean it now. I mean it now.
Yeah, you mean it.
I'm going to listen to Lil Wayne all the way to 1904 for band practice.
Fuck yeah, bro. Put on
I
some like
forgot. You
D-Boys
still
or
gotta
some
go
shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love that
practice
shit.
after this.
We're not practicing until like 9:30, so
We're good. We got a couple more
straight.
drinks in
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
actually.
Well,
All right.
that was the last one.
That was the last one, yeah.
Do you want to promote or say anything at the end?
Yeah, sure. Come see Universal Green this Friday at 1904
This
with the Jesus Christ. Now I can't think of their name.
The reality.
The
but-
reality.
But this is gonna air on. This will air on Monday,
All right. Well, cool. So maybe you saw us play on Friday.
and the show is fucking amazing.
So it's gonna air on Monday. come to Dunedin and see Greenhouse Lounge
Yeah, come see us do
and
that.
Universal Green play on May
28th.
28th and the 29th. If you want to look us up on the internet, we've got Facebook and Instagram. Like I said, if you watch this whole podcast, we're working on getting everything back up on Spotify and iTunes and that type of situation. And yeah, if you want to see some interesting banter on the internet, send me a friend request and we'll talk about it.
Can I just say the after party that you had after your show on Friday was dope?
Yeah. I'm super stoked about that after party.
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, you just
No,
needed
you were
to
there
come.
playing the piano, bro.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you just went home after
I
the gig.
wanted to go, and I just didn't feel like I really belonged.
You
Yeah.
belong.
No,
Duh.
don't blow him up. He doesn't belong. Let's be honest.
I like doing this now. Would you wrap up the episode and say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, sure. Goodbye, y'all.
That's it.
That's very good.
Short and sweet. Adios, muchachos.
We love you guys.
I don't.